I do.
Covino and Rich.
Are you ready? Honestly, how do I deal with you every day?
Get ready.
You've heard all about on the radio.
Get ready.
Whoa! Yeah!
Holy mother nugget! And holy mother meatball! Can't stop the hustle.
I'm the smartest man alive! You're so ridiculous. What? You're such a fool. Get out of here.
Oh, I'm a disc jockey.
What's a disc jockey?
Here we go. Covino and Rich.
Let's go!
Let's go. Let's do it. On our 1-year Patreon anniversary show. Woo! All right, 1 year in the books.
How about that?
1 year. Me and you and us. Come on. You love it, right? Thank you guys for being here 1 year on our Patreon. We're going to celebrate, we're going to reflect, we're going to reminisce, see how far we've come in 1 year. Spot built a cabin.
I did.
We built a studio.
You did.
Man, when you think about it that way, look how far we've come. Matchbox 20 style.
Exactly. So, sports, entertainment, life, some celebration. We have mail to open. Of course, our rando news. But first and first, mostly, on our 1 year Annie, let's be rockin' out. Go!
You know,
Yeah, you dumbass!
Rockin' out our 1 year Annie.
I might be the only person that would make a let's see how far we come Rob Thomas reference.
Oh my God!
Pretty much.
You know that song though, right?
If I've heard it. Maybe.
How far we've come, Matchbox 20. It's sort of a, I wouldn't say a stifferoo, but you're not hearing it outside of like Sirius XM or some random Pandora, Spotify playlist that someone's throwing on. But Spot, how far we've come, you know this one, right?
I do.
Throw that bad boy on for a second. How far we've come.
Can't call it a bad boy if nobody knows it.
I know it, but I love Matchbox 20.
I'm sure I've heard it. I've had all their, or most of their albums.
Yeah, Matchbox 20. Let's not pretend we're too cool for Matchbox 20. That
I'm a little too cool
one
for
hell of a
Matchbox
band.
20. No, I'm not a big fan.
You're too cool for
like
Rob
Push.
Thomas and the boys.
I wanna push you around. It's the only one I really like. I like Rob Thomas. I think he's cool. I like him. The band's corny. They lean corny, yeah.
I don't know about that.
I do. I know this song.
Another song. Let's see how far we've come.
Can I skip ahead?
Yeah, please do, Spud. Let's see how far we've come. I like Rob Thomas. Is there any band more
No.
than Nickelback that people deny their love for, but
I
has
don't
been
put
that
Matchbox
successful?
20 in that category at all.
Matchbox 20 was never.
I don't think they're.
No, I don't think people deny the love,
Yeah.
but I think you're doing a little bit of like, I'm too cool for Matchbox 20. Meanwhile,
think
like,
they're a
who
little
didn't
corny.
fucking love Matchbox 20?
They were not a corny. They were not a corny band. They were a good band. They were a good late '90s pop rock band.
It's like that's
Push.
like denying Third Eye Blind.
Exactly.
Do you deny Third Eye Blind?
I feel like Third Eye Blind rocked out a little bit harder in their rest of their album cuts. Matchbox 20 was always kind of more chill. I loved Matchbox 20.
I feel like Rob Thomas and Matchbox 20.
I loved Matchbox 20's. I mean, Third Eye Blind's first album. That's
feel
when
like
I love
I
ended.
put those in the same category of like, not top tier, but like second tier pop rock bands. Matchbox 20, Third Eye Blind.
I would
same
argue-
level of like.
Matchbox 20 had their first 3 albums were really solid.
It's 3 a.m. You must be lonely, bro.
I like this one.
Yourself or Someone Like You,
I like this one.
Mad Season, and
I like the band Mad
What was
Season.
the one with Bent on it? And If You're Gone. That
If You're
album was
Gone and
fantastic.
Bent, those are great songs. And
I like Push. That's
his
it.
New York City Christmas song is great.
But I like Rob Thomas, and I don't
Yeah.
deny his credibility as like a superstar. And what he did with Carlos Santana was awesome. I'm not dissing on Rob Thomas. The band's a little soft, that's all. So never really resonated with me. However, Third Eye Blind did. And
Yeah.
they're more poppy too. But that whole album was undeniable. But that's just my opinion. But to answer your question of bands that were denied,
Nickelback and Limp Bizkit.
West from Idaho, Limp Bizkit, 100%. Because of oversaturation, to be honest. Like, they were everywhere. And not only did people turn their red Yankee hat backwards, they turned their back on Fred Durst and the band. And the second answer would be Creed. Everybody loved Creed.
It's a good one.
Turned their back on him.
Creed, Limp
Creed,
Bizkit,
yeah.
I actually have a Creed story.
Nickelback.
I fought for a particular Creed song to be played on Turbo because of that stigma that bands like that have. People assume they're corny, but regardless of your feelings, they have songs that rock, right? Or songs that kick ass. So I was like, I don't care if people don't like Scott Stapp. That song rules and it should be played on this channel. Yeah, but they got the stigma of being corny. I'm like, yeah, I get it. We all get it. But this song is undeniably cool. But then I realized, because we didn't have lyrics at our fingertips back then, when I had posted it on social media, the lyrics came up, and I've been singing it wrong for the past 130 years. And you know it because I sing it all the time. It's called Torn by Creed. I even reference it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
man,
to-
I'm a
are you
little
torn like Natalie Imbruglia or Creed?
Yeah, I'm a little torn. I don't know what to do. Like Creed. For years, I even tortured my siblings at one point, and I told my siblings, Donnie, Mimi, Gracie, Tommy, you guys can't leave the room till you memorize the lyrics to this song. And because I had to rely on my ear and my brain, not Google, for lyrics, I taught them, and I always thought it was, the beast is dead. The beast is dead in my soul. I have blame reason. There's nothing about a beast at all in this song. It's the peace is dead. I was like, I was
You were
wrong.
singing The Beast is Dead
I
for all
was-
those years?
I thought it was about the inner beast inside.
It could be.
No.
Make it your own.
It's the peace is dead. Here it is.
Was it before this?
It's coming up, yeah.
It's
But
after this
anyway,
one.
bands that people deny, Creed, Nickelback, Limp Bizkit. I don't think...
It sounds like peace.
The Beast. I think it's The Beast is
There's no.
Dead.
There's no.
I was mind blasted. I was like, the peace.
There's no.
I'm going to go with you, bro.
I had to forgive
I'm
my...
sticking with you.
I had to tell my siblings and break the news and be like, yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Not The
Please
Beast is
forgive me."
Dead.
Yeah, it's not. There's no beast. Then my sister John's like, no
The
beast.
Beast
No beast?
is dead. Oh, by the way, your sister
Beast.
hit us up saying that you made your siblings memorize lyrics like Voodoo by Godsmack. Like you make your siblings
I'm not
memorize.
the one who's so far away when I feel the snake bite. I'm like, you better memorize that, or else you can't leave. I'm gonna tell mom and dad you picking your nose. Anyway,
Do you know that?
I didn't have a lot of bonding
I think about-
memories and moments. I was so much older than my siblings,
Which is
so-
why you did probably what I did. I remember practicing every WWF wrestling move on Jimmy.
I was like, memorize these, and this is my way of torturing you and being a big brother.
And the other way to torture, I would make my siblings try food that they didn't want to try. Be like, you have to try it, or I'm going to like beat you up. I don't want it.
Consider it bonding, but I was
Yeah.
wrong all those years. But Third Eye Blind not Third Eye Blind, Matchbox 20, 3 a.m. I Must Be Lonely. They're a good band. I'm not saying they're not a good band. They weren't my steez. The only song I really liked by them that made me go out and buy it was the one with the guy who's wearing the helmet, the fat guy on the album cover with the glasses.
That's their first one. You're still for someone like you.
Yeah.
And it was I wanna push you around. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. It's the only one I really liked.
I told you my first band before Coldplay. Matchbox 20 was my Coldplay before Coldplay. I said this recently.
Spot was a big Matchbox
I
guy.
loved Matchbox. Saw them in concert.
I was more of a Hot Wheels guy.
Had a thing for Rob Thomas.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah,
Yeah, your
Rob
little,
Thomas is cool, man. He's not cool. He's a cool dude. I think he's super cool.
Super cool.
He's smooth.
He is
So smooth.
so smooth.
that song,
Speaking of, pun intended.
Moo,
Definitely.
Smooth by Rob Thomas and Matchbox 20 and Carlos Santana. It was actually just Rob Thomas and Santana, Smooth.
Yeah.
That song was easily over 20 years ago. They put out a song again, like earlier this year. It didn't have the same hype. Have you heard Move?
No.
No.
Throw on Move for a second.
But
Spot.
it is stupid that we don't like Nickelback because he has curly noodle hair in the early 2000s. It's like, yeah, they got a lot of kick-ass songs, though. It's just a weird stigma that bands and people get. But it doesn't deny. You can't deny that.
You got me losing my
They have
head.
badass songs.
I never know what I
Matchbox
said.
20,
You got
Rob
me
Thomas linked up with
round and around.
Santana again, like this year.
Know if I'm right,
So, hey, why not? Run it back. See if you can
but we can make our
capture magic twice. Probably not.
So a little music, little sports, little entertainment, some celebration today. It's our 1 year anniversary. We're gonna reflect, but first and first, mostly, Rich, because it's our 1 year anniversary, we got some mail to open.
Oh, man.
Oh, mail. Okay.
I want to do this.
Oh, mail.
Yo, you remember it's March 1st, so it's the first of the month.
Gotta pay your bills.
Pay your bills, seal them with your ass, all that good stuff. I don't know if you remember, but a woman named Heidi sent us all those packages for our daughters for March 3rd, which is Girls' Day, right? In
Girls'
Asia?
Day.
Girls' Day in somewhere in Asia. Right, Spotty? Well, Heidi came at us again. By the way, I haven't given my daughter her gift yet. I'm waiting. Probably till today, because I'm not going to see her on Thursday. So I'll give it to her today, Heidi. Thank you.
Girl Day.
But here, Rich, this is also from Heidi.
Bunny James. Give your little knife.
Get a little buck. Where's little buck?
Here it is, bro. Here it is. Here, go to work.
Little buck.
Yeah, man. This guy comes in handy.
Honestly, he does. I used to mock him, but now every time I package a rise, I'm like, you have a little buck?
Little buck's my knife, everybody, that I keep in my bag in case an intruder wants to mess. The beast has dead in my...
Oh, look at this.
What do we got? Some goodies? How nice
It's
is
a
that?
high protein fitness bunny box.
Oh.
Look at that.
Oh.
Little healthy treats.
Pistachio. Oh!
Protein
Pistachios,
puffs.
Oh, I love protein puffs.
nuts. These are so
And
good,
jerky
man.
in there?
Jerky.
Throw me a piece of jerky.
Oh.
Yeah, this is
This is
sweet.
great.
Hey, Heidi, honestly, so thoughtful, so awesome. You didn't have to, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
Oh, Heidi, thank you. Look at this. This could be our Covino and Rich protein pack.
Look at that. We're going to have to divvy that up. We're going to be fighting later over it.
There we are.
She's like, I sent it like so you guys could share and celebrate, and we're going to be fighting. You'll see. You'll see, but so
And
nice
it
of you.
doubles as our Easter decoration.
Look at that.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Thanks, Heidi.
But we'll be munching on that for sure. Heidi, really appreciate you. Shout out to Heidi M. Nakama.
Heidi.
She says, congratulations on 1 year with Patreon. Looking forward to many more from Heidi. Thanks, Heidi. Honestly, super cool, and we're going to enjoy that for sure. Maybe munch on it throughout the day. And Spot, you got like a random package too from
Right next to you.
Daniel Javier Feats,
Am I supposed to
right?
open it?
Yeah, it's yours.
All right, slide it over.
Is it yours?
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, there you go. So one more package, but I wanted to open that up because that was part of the celebration. But thanks for all the mail. Again, our mailing address is at covinoandrich.com. Everything at Covino and Rich on social media.
I peeked at it, so
Okay.
I know what it is.
Okay, so we got a package from the after show, but later. Daniel Javier Feats. Shout out to El Cucuy. But
Package these things in.
Spot said it's kind of random.
That's weird because I heard he's not packing.
Let's see.
Mail on our 1 year anniversary. Then we got stuff to get to. There's a couple dumb stories I want to get to. One involves hair, Covino, so I feel like you're gonna like the
Is
story
that little
about
kid,
hair.
Is that little kid with the uncombable
It's not.
hair?
It's not the kid with the uncombable hair. Plus, a state of the station, bad parenting, Russia.
Station.
Yeah, state of the station. A lot of stuff.
Are we doing like a? We're doing like a State of the Union address.
Yeah.
This is why I prepare ahead of time, Spot. See how like
You
How nice it
you
is.
know what? Now it makes sense.
yeah.
Now you know why he cuts his boxes ahead of time.
Yep.
See?
So he created an image for me
Okay.
and printed it on canvas. Let me go big. I'm gonna go big and ruin my hat.
Okay.
It's young me and old me.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's so weird. That's so random, but awesome at the same time.
That is so cool.
Isn't it cool?
What are you gonna do with that?
I don't know.
They've done that with, they do that with celebrities where it's like young Sly Stallone and like old Sly Stallone.
What inspired that though?
I don't know.
That's so cool though.
Well, because we talked about it recently where they'll be like, hey, here's super young.
What? That is
Right?
awesome.
It's
though.
it's gonna scare my wife,
That is so cool.
but I think it's really cool.
That is really cool. It's little. If you're just listening, please upgrade to tier 2 and enjoy the visual. It's a little Spot as a child leaning against the fence with new Spot.
It looks like a little evil Spot too, like he's problem child. Like he's gonna cause some
What I
mischief.
look like as a kid.
That's
Then
great,
it's
though.
A slick adult me.
That's so random but awesome. Wow.
Well,
really
Daniel
cool.
Javier Fitz, what a guy!
How did he feed in the time to make
What a
that?
guy! That's very sweet, man.
Yeah, very nice, very thoughtful. after the show, a lot of times, there's 2 times where I do most of my business. When I'm taking a shit,
Right, I was gonna say.
that's number 1, which is really number 2. But I'll get on the phone or I'll do some emails, you know, because I like to relax. And when I'm driving home, you know, I'll call up my mom and dad and, hey, did you listen to the show? How you feeling? You guys alive? Everything cool? And my dad will be like, hey, man, I don't get your listeners, man. I mean, why the hell they buy you shit? I don't get it. Like, they like you that much? And I'm like, yeah.
I don't like you that much.
Yeah, exactly. Like, man, you got the most Steven, you got the most thoughtful listeners, the most thoughtful gifts. So nice.
Very nice.
My mom freaked out about the guitar that Jamie made me. She had
Right?
never seen it. And, you know, just the kindness and generosity of all you guys all the time. We appreciate it. So thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Daniel Fitz, and everyone else for your year of support. Thank you, everybody.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it's true.
we couldn't have got through the last year without you guys, to be honest. When things went sour, big picture at SXM.
When you say big picture, I think that one spot just opened up.
It's a great big picture.
Yeah, that one.
I mean, when you think big picture,
There's a little boy. It's Spot and he's a little boy. Spot and the little boy.
little spot and big.
It's Spot and the little boy. You should call it that. Spot the little boy.
Are they having a clandestine conversation?
Yo, what's going on in that picture? It's so weird, man. It's like a weird dream Spot had.
I know. One day you'll look like this.
One day you'll understand.
Young me would be so disappointed.
Yeah, so funny.
Man, well,
So you were thanking everybody.
yeah.
much
I mean, honestly,
in the
a
big
year
picture.
ago when things went south, when we couldn't come up with a deal with SiriusXM that made sense, we counted on you guys to keep us going. And 1 year later, we're still going. So honestly, without you guys and without your support, without that first of the month little check where I'm like, people still like us? Do people still like us? They still like us. Mm-hmm. Which is funny because in a little bit, we're going to play the first moments of our first Patreon episode. And you say something that is sort of ironic. You're like, thank God we're done living month to month, because we were doing month to month contracts at SiriusXM. And now we live in the month to month.
Okay, so we'll reminisce.
Yeah.
And again, there's an email from one of our listeners that involves, you know, our reflection of the past year. So we got an email from Raymond White we'll read in a minute. But what'd you do last night? Did you have a good Monday night? Anything special?
Yeah,
with the fam?
My dad is in about a half hour. I'm going to dip away for a couple minutes just to say farewell to Greg and Nelly
goodbye.
as they get on their way. We went to Spot. You know where we went last night?
My flight's at 3 p.m. I got to get there now.
No, they're getting there early. Honestly, they are getting there uncharacteristically
Don't
early.
like to rush.
I want to ease through the security, through the airport. I want to be there at least 5 hours ahead of
I think they have a 12:45 flight,
loading time.
and they're leaving here at like a little before 10. I'm like, yeah, that's a little too early, but I'd rather them unwind. They're not zippies through the airport security like you, Spot. You know, like they want to take their time.
I want to stop at Dunkin' Donuts at the airport.
So last night, it was so cool. You know
I
what's
love Bavarian creams.
You know what? That it's Bavarian.
Oh, that's what I said. Barbarian cream donuts.
So what I thought was one of my cool observations is that you see how your kids bond with your family in different ways. Like I see Emmy really bonding with my dad's wife, Nellie. They had a really good time. Like, Nellie, Bob and Nellie, can you read me a book? Can you do this? Like, and they were bonding and having a good time. Ben seems to take such a liking to Greg. And I just get a kick out of it because, you know, he just runs up to my dad and does that little thing that you like that Ben does where he just runs in place.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, happy feet.
the happy feet thing.
Yeah.
So we had a great time. And yesterday, Spot, we drove to the beach.
I love the beach.
And we went to the spot that you and I went to last time, where right near Malibu, where there's that little dip in, that little secret spot where we went, where you walk down the little alleyway.
Billionaires Beach.
Billionaires
Yeah,
Beach.
that's my spot. That's where I always go.
We went to Billionaires Beach, as Spot calls it. And honestly, it was a beautiful night. It's like 70, 80 degrees yesterday and sunny.
I didn't make that up. That's the name of the beach.
Nah, Spot made it up. Billionaires Beach. And, you know, just rolled up our jeans, took off our shoes, dipped the Tootsies in the water, and just sort of was like, yeah, this is the Pacific. Look at the sunset. Kids were running around. Ben does that thing like every kid where he runs up to the water, but then when he sees the water coming in, then he turns around and runs away.
Yeah.
Took some good pictures with my dad and the kids and stuff. And then we went to a place in Malibu that some people may have gone to, not only out here in California, but in Hawaii, Duke's, which is like, what'd you say, spot? Like a seafood fusion type of like,
Yeah, it's like a Hawaiian mini
beach
chain.
bar. Yeah.
It's like what Islands wants to be.
Yeah.
But it's like the real version of Islands.
So,
and
yeah.
it's right on the water.
We got some Mai Tais.
Yeah.
We got a, by the way, a table right on the window on the water.
Oh, were you outside? Or
It was an outside spot. It's the only problem with outside
The deck?
By the
is that's the
water.
deck bar area. So it's
Yeah, I agree.
they don't want to sit like a family party out there. So we window seat. We got the calamari. We got the poke tacos. My dad got a big lobster. We feasted and had some Mai Tais, and honestly, it was just a good time. It was
Nice.
just a good time.
I
And
like Dukes.
I think my dad was even just loving the views of. We forget because we'd done it before, but when you drive from where we live, guys, to the beach, you're cutting through the canyons and the mountains, and then you get to a point where you look ahead and you see the water,
Yeah.
and you're seeing like all these, celebrities' houses on the top of mountains and shit, and it was cool. It was a beautiful night, and honestly, by the time we got home, we were all exhausted. That I can't party tonight. I'm tired. We'll talk for a few and call it a night. And that was sort of where we were at. So. We had a great night. It was a great visit by my dad. And like what he said yesterday, you start to realize as everyone gets older, maybe you plan more trips and hangs with your family if you could, because, time's not guaranteed. So,
But it gets harder because, your family's so spread out.
I
With
know
different
that's the
schedules and
bummer,
different
but yeah,
things
you
and-
make it happen. I said, listen, Nellie, my dad's wife, still works. And we said, well, the minute she retires, at least an automatic annual trip out here. And, I go to New York once or twice a year. So we'll make it happen. We'll make it work.
That's awesome.
There's no reason the three of us all have East Coast families.
Yeah.
ABC, BBD. And there's no reason that during the winter months, it's like in the teens back east.
I know.
There's no reason that all of our families shouldn't be like, it's cold. I have family in Southern California. I'm getting out of here. There's no reason.
There is a reason.
That's what I said.
Well,
I said the same thing. I go,
My
hey,
parents
it's
say,
just,
"Yeah, you guys left. You should come see us."
Exactly.
It's the East Coast old school parent
It's,
mentality.
like my family hasn't visited me once other than my heart surgery in 6 years.
Spot,
My
why
parents have been here
don't you
twice.
fake a surgery?
Twice.
Be like, I need knee replacement, and all of a sudden your brother and sister come out here and he's like, just kidding, let's go have lunch.
Jesus, Rich, knock on wood.
Twice. The
Yeah.
last time I saw Melody, she was playing with an Etch-a-Sketch. Now she's 12, on the phone with boys. So
The last time your
flying.
parents saw Melody, she was on an Etch-a-Sketch. Holy shit! No, but I'm saying like,
I totally made that up.
No,
I
but
don't
I'm
know.
saying that does give perspective because I have friends that I have family that haven't seen my daughter since she was like had shorter hair. I have people that haven't met Ben yet.
Yeah, I don't think Melody's ever had an Etch-a-Sketch.
So that's your fail.
Yeah, I kind of just said that, meaning she was just a little kid. Just a little kid. Now she's, growing up and she's got to dance on Thursday night. So,
And so it was
you're right. You got to get out. You got to see people more. I mean, we had a pandemic for the past 2 years. So just a reminder again to connect.
Yeah. So no, it was a good night, and you know what? There is that sense of like when you have company and it went well, when they leave, there is that sense of like, all right, I'm actually gonna take a long nap, because you've been sort of like hyped up for their trip.
You've been on the go more than you normally would be.
Yeah. All right. Who we got, Spot? Who's calling?
I feel bad. She's been on hold for a while. Crystal Bray.
Yo, Crystal. What's up, Crystal?
Hey, happy anniversary, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Crystal.
Thanks.
So I stuck around and I'll be here for a while longer.
I appreciate it. We appreciate all your support.
Yeah. Crystal's great.
The Funky Monkey
I've
is full of
for
support.
real, my schedule changed, and so I work overnights, and I was so excited because I'd catch the show live, but it turns out that I sleep during the show. So
Crystal, we've
I've
been
been
talking to
catching
Crystal
you
much.
guys a little bit later than normal, but I miss being live.
You know, it's interesting. We hear from Crystal all the time, but never her voice.
Right.
I'm like, oh, that's what Crystal sounds like.
Very
I think
sweet
you're
voice.
I think you're intrigued by her voice.
I am. Crystal, you got a cute voice.
The first time I called you guys was like the day before your last serious episode. I said I was going to be the new clingy girlfriend, and then I later texted or messaged Covino. I said I don't like the girlfriend. I'd rather be the new little sister, but not the inappropriate way.
The stepsister?
The bratty sis?
The bratty sister.
This is stuck in the dryer, sis? Thank you, Crystal. We love
you
you.
so much.
Put me in the dryer all you want. That's fine.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day, and we hope you keep riding with us. So appreciate you, Crystal. Everybody.
If you want to reflect for a minute, it is wild to think that a year ago, like now it seems like we've been doing this for a quick minute in this studio where this is our routine, but the last year has involved Spot's living room. Texas.
I started in my living room, actually. A few weeks here and there.
Your living room.
We started in your living room on Sirius during the pandemic, but for this show,
Les Miserables.
we started it because I set everything up in my living room. Oh my God.
Spot's living room, Covino's place on occasion, me in Texas, back and forth, us here, then the studio, then from the beginning till now, it's a lot has happened in a year.
Well,
it may feel like it went like that, but a lot has happened.
Let me read this.
It took a lot to get to this.
Yeah.
Okay, this is from Raymond White. Again, we're the most inclusive, interactive show of all time, the greatest live podcast of all podcasts, Covino and Rich. Thanks to your support. Raymond White says, maybe a discussion for Monday or Tuesday since you guys are celebrating your 1 year on Patreon. Probably going to do this anyway, but I had a few questions. I was listening to the first Patreon show earlier today, and you guys were talking about possibilities and opportunities, wondering how things would pan out over the year. Now that we're a year into Patreon, I figured it would be a cool topic or discussion, behind the velvet rope even, to reflect on how far you've come and how things have developed over the past year. Where are you now compared to where you thought you would be when you started Patreon? Are the things going better than you hoped for or imagined? Maybe even thoughts and predictions for next year. I just want to say, great first year. I'm glad to have gotten to follow along for it. Wish you continued success, and I'll be listening for many years to come. That's from Raymond White. So the first question is, where are you now compared to where you thought you would be when you started?
Ooh, that's a damn good question. So I remember my first thought when we were doing Patreon was, we have no clue how many people are going to come.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And to be honest, it really, we could deny it all we want, but the reality is this is our career, so it was a numbers game. It was.
I just remember dropping panicky deuces. Like, what are we going to do?
I remember thinking, how many thousands of people
do?
will follow us? We need a certain number of people for this to begin to make sense.
I remember scrubbing in the shower, like, what are we going to do?
And then I remember thinking, like, all right, if I take Patreon, because I was doing the math, like much like you were. You like, all right, Patreon, all right, plus SXM's money. Plus, and then at that point, there was no other plus. So I was like, all right, Patreon plus SXM. Where will that leave us, right? And then after that, it was like halfway through the year, Fox happened. So then it became, all right, Patreon plus SXM plus Fox. And then you start doing the math of like, where am I now versus where I was? And a lot of it, to be honest, for me at least, was as nerds in finance call it bean counting. The last year of my life has been bean counting.
I'll tell you this, financially, we're pretty much in the same place from where we started to now, right? Yeah. That's not a complaint or anything like that. It's just, it is what it is. I'm answering the question. But to actually see where we were to where we are is a different story. Spot, you showed us a clip earlier. We might as well play it now.
It was the first few minutes of the first episode.
So, hey, here's the question again. Where are you now compared to where you thought you would be when you started? Well, let's take a look at where we started a year ago.
Like I even for me, like visually, I'm like, oh, what did I do?
Oh,
man, I've come so far.
And then you tell us what you think.
Man, I've come so far.
All right, let's go. Welcome to the new frontier.
Pause it, Spot. We look more handsome now. All of us.
We were probably miserable.
Bro, you look better now.
I'm not even on I'm not even on camera.
Yeah,
Spot, I can tell you look better now.
Rich is in a bathroom shower. The graphics are terrible.
The graphics. Oh my god! I'm like, you know why? Let me defend this frame. I'm like, what? I had no direction whatsoever.
And we're in Spotty's living room, and you're right, Spot. There's no blueprint, right?
There was no. I if anything, I was more focused on making sure everything functioned properly because I was learning how to stream for the first time. So I got all the cameras going, plugged everything into my computer, got all this set up. So the last thought on my mind was, oh yeah, I got to make it kind of visual. So this is the visual.
You know what, Spot? I'll give you all the credit in the world for slowly but surely getting us to where we are now, starting there and ending where we are now. And even as of this week, we added the shelves and, we're making this like a
little lights.
Bit by bit, but like a microphone. Like we were still using, I can say this now, we were still using SiriusXM equipment for like a month and a half.
Before SiriusXM hit up Spot.
It's the least they could have done. Yeah. Let us transition a little bit.
No, but I remember at first, SiriusXM, until they called up Spot, they're like, all right, we're going to need all that equipment back. We're using SXM headsets. The board that Spot uses here, we bought the replica of that, but we were still using SXM's board.
Right.
And yeah, it was
those headset mics lasted for a minute.
Yeah, eventually we had to buy our own everything collectively as a show. The microphones, the lighting, the cameras, everything.
Yeah, but to like jump right in, I scrambled and used what I had in my house,
which is honestly at the time was good enough. It kept us on the air. If you guys remember, a year ago, we announced on a Friday that we were done after a 16-plus year run at SiriusXM, and we started right on Monday just to not lose momentum. To not lose the momentum, to get you guys to still be a part of it.
And you know what?
Continue doing what we do.
You know what? I probably in the clip look like, I think Andrew said it, I definitely look like I had the nervous farts then, because I probably did. Thanks, Sarah. Because at that point, we had just bought a house. So I was like, this has to work out.
I mean, you're the same here, dude.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, we both bought places.
We were both
1 year ago
in new scenarios, new situations where we were sort of led to believe that, yeah, man, we're going to continue kicking ass. But the world happened. Can't necessarily play the blame game all that much when no one predicted a pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So that happened, and we had to pivot like everyone else in the world. So here, where were we a year ago? Continue on with the clip.
Continue with the... Here we go.
The new adventures of Covino and Rich.
Oh, my.
Begin. Yeah. Good morning, Richard.
The new adventures of the old Covino and Rich.
Speak for yourself. I'm feeling young and vibrant today.
Good job.
I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders because we're not going month to month anymore, wondering what our future is. The future is here.
Yep.
Welcome us to Patreon. Let's rock out.
You missed that coffee mug?
I missed that coffee mug.
Right.
I still have that mug. By the way, very first day I realized we're getting flagged for using Dimension.
Got the nervous farts a little bit. Out of excitement, though. Excitement. Woke up, hitting people back. It's been nonstop since we last spoke to everybody. I mean, nonstop.
That guy's good.
And I can't be more thankful, Rich, of everyone that is here today and all the well wishes. And I am like truly excited.
I have a sense of appreciation and love, but at the same time, I am exhausted explaining the story to people.
Yeah, I know. People
where like there are certain people that I have not talked to yet simply because I don't know, maybe they're like a good pep talk type of guy and I just don't want to hear it yet, or like, oh, let's strategize, and I'm like, I don't want to strategize with that person yet. You can stop the Spot. I remember that feeling.
Even the audio quality was ass.
Right?
I remember that feeling of the people you know in your life that are pep talk people. Like I'll call one out, like our buddy Paul, Wall Street Paul. Yeah. Like I remember
Paul Wall.
I remember avoiding Paul's call for a minute because I know he's a pep talk type of guy. I was avoiding like Steve Ward's phone call. Like there were certain friends that I know would be like, it's all good, bro. You got to do this, and that. I'm like, I don't want to hear anyone tell me what I got to do. So you know to avoid those people in those moments. That's how I remember, at least. See, I kind of like the commentary on previous shows. That's from John D. Yeah, that was an idea I had a while back, but we never executed it.
That's our biggest weakness, execution.
State of the Union.
Yeah, reality check.
I was thinking about taking, remember I was saying take old shows and react to them.
I mean, it doesn't matter. We didn't do it.
But, well,
we can.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you're emphasizing our failures.
State of the station.
Okay, so where were you, or where are you now compared to a year ago? I mean, even visually, you could see we've come a long way. At least that's how I feel when I see that shitty clip. But again, we were working with what we had and what we knew. So, and again, props to Spot.
I'm not saying I'm great, but like all of this is much better than
Much better. So that answers that question. All right, ready?
this.
Well, day one was like just a shitty Zoom call setup.
Yeah.
Really,
essentially.
well, like I just put a frame on a Zoom call.
Question 2 from Raymond White. Are things going better than you hoped for or imagined, Rich?
I think not like way better, but to be honest, when I do the math for me, I know we're all in different scenarios, so it's a hard question, right? You, Spot, and I all for the first time in a while, different scenarios when you add everything up. But when Fox came on board, when we started doing Fox Football Sunday, which by the way is like 7 months ago now, 8 months, when we started doing Fox plus SXM plus this made life make a lot of sense again. So I think I'm you know what, probably a better spot than I thought we'd be in a year ago.
As far as Patreon, I wish we'd grow more.
It's tough
That's
to do
my
that.
honest answer. I try to promote outside of this arena as often as I could without getting in trouble. Even on SXM, I'm promoting Covino and Rich. I do it. I do that because I care about what we do. Not supposed to, but I do. On Fox Sports Radio, we promote our Patreon.
And I think now
I
that
try. No one's told me not to, so I continue trying. So I just wish we'd grow more, but we've sort of stayed pretty even, which I can't complain about.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to grow a subscription podcast.
right,
Yeah.
I would say I'm happy that we're consistent with it. That's the best you can do.
yeah. I think now in retrospect, and this is a conversation we need to continue to have amongst ourselves. But I think, we start from the beginning and release our content into the unknown, into the public. I think all the old stuff
To the metaverse.
to the metaverse. I think all the old stuff is now so far removed that
It's fine. Do it.
new people signing up for our current content aren't going to feel cheated
Do it.
by seeing all the old stuff.
But everything we do is to help grow things here, and hopefully we'll get more opportunities. And Rich and I are open to all that. But we do Twitch to hopefully wrangle some stumblers, some random people into our Patreon world of Covino and Rich. So, is it going better than we had hoped or imagined? It's hard to answer because I don't even look at it that way. I look at it like I'm grateful for everyone that's here. I wish we had more people here, but it keeps us afloat. It keeps us fresh, and it keeps us ready for what could be next, and we're thankful for it.
Yeah. No, the reality is like I can envision Patreon permanently being part of our equation.
Right. But what else?
No matter what other things are added or adjusted. For all, for all we know, if some TV or streaming or audio, job comes in
let's
the
just
mix.
say Fox offered us a full-time thing, right? We can't do on Fox what we do here.
So this will always be around.
This will always be around, in some way, shape, or form. So, if we could do things to complement the Patreon, that's what we plan on doing, and hopefully continue to grow what we're doing here. All right? Maybe even thoughts and predictions for the next year. Raymond White wants to know. Thoughts and predictions. Ooh. My prediction is that we will be offered a full-time gig somewhere.
Yeah.
That's based on nothing other than my confidence and manifestations.
And I don't think that affects this, like you said, because if we have a full-time gig doing something somewhere else, it's going to be different than this content.
Well, what we have shown, courtesy of Patreon and your support and everything else, is that we have an audience. We could do it on our own, and we could put out a quality product. Like, we create content, and people see value in that. And not only do we create content, we create it every day. Spot packages it out there and throws it out there into the metaverse, and people see it. And there are important eyes on it. So
here's a good question.
I think we'll get an offer. Steve gets benefits. And
I have one prediction.
we bring some new people into this world.
I have one prediction. And think of this for a second. Matt wants to know, is there anything you would have done slightly different towards the end of your SiriusXM run? I don't think so. I don't know what we could have done differently.
Well, we still work there, so no,
nothing you could have really done.
I mean, to save it, like to
No.
save our job.
So, like, is there anything you just in general? Is there anything you would have done different?
Spot anything? We were doing everything we could. I mean, Rich and I, we extended ourselves like
Done differently over the last year?
Yeah. You did that. We did the show during the whole pandemic. Didn't miss a beat. Did the show from your house. Did it on the road. Did everything.
things
Yeah.
we would have done different here. I thought you meant at Sirius XM. You said Sirius XM.
Yeah, at Sirius XM. We did the show for a year during the pandemic at Sirius XM. I don't think there's anything we
okay.
could have done different.
Oh,
No, man, we
during that year before this?
yeah.
Before Patreon? Oh, I
That's
think
what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I think we if anything, were like I personally, but I know as the show as a whole, got so many accolades for how we transitioned smoothly.
Yeah, we kept it
From
going.
home because so many shows had trouble
Connecting and doing things.
setups and patching things in and all this stuff and like they never worried about us.
And luckily, we were tight enough as a show to continue doing it like in one place as a show,
Right.
where other shows are, this dude's there, this, so we were still able to keep things going from Spot's house.
Speaking of that, like the morning mashup, our pals on Hits One.
Yeah.
I saw Samson for dinner the other night, and he's like, "Yeah, I saw Stan for the first time in a year." And I'm like, "What do you mean for a year?" There are a lot of shows, not just in satellite radio, XM, Sirius, FM, AM, people that just have never been in the same place because of COVID. So, hey, got to take a quick time out. Gonna walk my dad out.
Fine.
Say farewell.
Hey, Craig, thanks for being here.
Any farewells before you head back to New York?
Yeah, guys, last thing I wanted to say is I'm going to do my job. I'm going to go back to Queens, New York, like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America, and I'm going to spread the word Queens more. Get the
Get
guys,
people in Queens.
Get the more guys on board to listen to the show, and it was a pleasure being here with Rich in his beautiful house and seeing Spot and Covino, and you guys, the listeners, are the greatest, and I'll be hearing your voices in the future, but back in Queens.
All right.
Take care.
I'll be right back. Let me walk.
Take care,
let me walk
guys.
you out.
Nice. Thanks, Greg.
Uba's
Always,
here.
always so nice to
Uba's
see
here.
Rich's pops. I'm gonna give him a big hug. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. I'll see you soon. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Goodbye to Greg. See him next time. Dinner next time. We got to get some steak dinner next time, Greg. All right.
Steak dinner.
So yeah, the past year, I don't think what's ironic about the whole thing, and I try hard not to be bitter about it, is I don't think anybody handled it better than the Covino and Rich show. And Spot was our secret weapon there, who really executed and provided a platform where we could continue doing what we did. Remember, we weren't a visual show. So if you were just listening on Sirius XM, pandemic or no pandemic, we never stopped. We always continued on, put a quality product out there. We did interviews, we did town halls, we did everything. And prior to that, we were the only one doing events and traveling and road trips and guac-offs, which we were best known for. So I don't think anyone did it better than us. But they chose to take another path, I guess.
They took another path.
I guess. So a year later, it feels like a long time ago because it was such a grind. Like a lot has been. You know why it probably feels like a long time ago, Spot? Because we do factor in. Bye, Nelly. Bye. Good to see you. We probably factor in that first year of Sirius XM in our memory, right?
Right.
When really,
Yeah, like we're approaching.
it feels like 2 years, but it's really 1 year of Patreon. I think that's why it feels like so long. Like really,
Yeah,
it's like,
you know why? Because there
we're
are times we were on Spot's couch that doesn't feel like Sirius XM because is that what you're saying?
Yep.
Because we weren't in the studio, we weren't doing our normal old school routine we did for 15 years. So while Patreon's a year, it does feel like 2 because anytime on Spot's couch,
doesn't.
I
Feel
don't
like
want
it's
to.
a-
I don't want
No,
to repeat
that's
what you
it.
just said because I was outside.
No, I just had that.
Yeah, but
thought.
it does seem like, oh yeah, half of the last 2 years we were actually on Sirius and half we were on our own. But it all seems like we were on our own because
We're approaching the second anniversary of 2 weeks to slow the spread.
That's why the Patreon adventure feels like it's been such a long time. We haven't been at the SXM studios. I haven't been there since March of 2020. And I still work there on the music side of things.
By the way, fun side note, if you asked about predictions for the next year, if we're still on that.
We did, yeah.
I have one that I can't say is a bad thing, but I could tell you that it's going to be I don't even want to use the word annoying because it's part of my job, and I guess it gives me worth in different areas. But I could already tell as the pandemic is lightening up, I'm being asked more and more to go host things at the SXM studios for like the music channels. And while that is a good thing, it's also like you're so used to being at home and you're so used not to answering to people. Like if they were like, Covino, for Turbo, we need you to interview Shinedown Tuesday at 1 p.m.
I would
And you're like-
I would know what I'd say in my brain though. I mean, why don't you ask the person you give full-time benefits to? Why are you asking me?
No, I hear you on that, which is
because I'm better than them? I get it.
which
Okay,
is where
cool.
your gripe should and would be. But I'm just saying, I like tomorrow, I have to go interview 5 Seconds of Summer at 12:30, 1 p.m. or something like that. And I'm like,
It's hard to feel bad
So
for
I-
you, bro. It is.
I
Because,
know.
dude, when I'm paying $1,000 extra a month for benefits, yo, you got benefits, you know. But on the flip side, Rich,
I know. Take that $1,000 though,
about the
and,
other
and times it
people?
by 2, and that's what Emmy and Ben are daycare. So just we'll put it there. We all got different bills. It sucks. I think you should be full time. I'm the first person that thinks that they did you wrong.
I don't think they did me wrong. I just don't think they're doing me right. I don't think they. I mean,
Yeah, that's it.
I'm still there.
Yeah, you're right. There's a difference there.
Yeah, I don't think they did me
Yeah,
wrong.
there's
There's a difference between
They
did you
spot
wrong.
You know, they did spot wrong. Yeah, come on, bro. The underqualified people they kept.
Yeah,
But again,
it's-
that's what happens when you're overqualified and you expect more money.
when your position's eliminated. It's not their fault.
Yeah, I mean, like
They tried, but it was just it was a very bad time to redistribute people.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
It was a very bad. I mean, am I a little bitter? Yes, but that's just my personality.
Are we bitter or better? You be the judge.
no. Listen, I feel confident in everything. I still think like, and I told you I still had that weird feeling every time I do a Sirius XM event of. So, dust is settled a year later. You still think it was okay? You still think it was the right move to get rid of Covino and Rich? You still think that? Like I still, but then again, I feel like the people I deal with now have no jurisdiction over what we did, so they're the wrong people to be aggravated with, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like if you talk to your rock boss had no doing in that.
None.
So, it's a weird feeling.
So, you know, when I'm feeling positive about things, and I've said this before in interviews recently, we've been interviewed on a few different podcasts recently. You know, everything happens for a reason. But if those things didn't happen, we wouldn't have our own podcast. We wouldn't have our own studio, which I'm really proud about and thankful for. And I love it. I think our show's better than it was on Sirius XM. I truly believe that. I mean, we even have a visual. We didn't have that on Sirius XM.
I know that's
You know,
wild. to
people
think.
I think forget that you couldn't see what we did for 15 plus years unless it was released on a little clip on social media.
And even then, it didn't happen until
Even then, it didn't really.
They didn't install cameras in the
Yeah,
Sirius
but it
XM
didn't capture
studio.
what we did. It would be like
It'd be like, here's
celebrity
5 minutes.
interview
Yeah,
moments.
5 minutes with Tim Robbins. You know,
Yeah.
like I know what you're saying. Like
There
Covino
was
saying,
no visual element to what we did.
But
so
it
right
wasn't-
there, it's just a better product here. So we wouldn't have had that.
Like you
Which
had
is a blessing.
And it wasn't that we didn't do it. It's that it wasn't allowed. Like other shows would do it and would get reprimanded because they had any form of camera in studio, or they had to get special permission, or it was in their contract. It was like the infrastructure was not even in place
For
at this.
15 plus years,
Right.
people didn't even know what our daily banter and interaction looked like.
That's insane.
yeah.
Like, you know, people are like, yo, man, Covino doesn't make a lot of eye contact with Rich. Kind of like how I've always done it for the past 15 plus years.
And then I realize when I'm listening to you, a lot of times I'm looking down and doodling, but I'm listening to you. It's just with the visual thing, sometimes I have to force myself to be like looking at you
Just-
like, yeah.
Again, but people have never seen this. And I'm like, yeah, that's Rich. I've known him for all this time.
Which
but
is
it's
probably
new to you.
Which is probably why I feel most comfortable at Fox.
I have so many
Because I don't have to worry about the visual aspect where I'm just like honed in.
You bring in Fox, we wouldn't have Fox, which I'm so happy and thankful for as well, if the ESPN thing didn't end, you know? So we're here for a reason. And we're just trying to make the best of it. But, when we reflect on 1 year, we're just grateful and like, wow, I can't believe it's been a year.
And at the end of the day, and as you like to say, the beginning, middle too, the goal is to make a living, have fun, and support your family. And we're doing all of those things.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I look at my kids
Also
running.
in
I
it
look
to
at my
win
kids
it,
running
though.
around. I'm like, my kids need and want nothing. I have shelter. I have money coming in, and we have more fun than 99.9% of people working. You talk to your friends about their job. Who talks to their buddies for a living? So I have a year later. I'm just grateful and thankful. I think about that all the time. How
but that's the.
I told you.
I hate to be Barry Horowitz here and pat myself on the back. That's the impractical jokers theory. Everybody thinks they could do what we do.
And you can't. No, I mean,
you can, but it doesn't mean it's going to be. We're the best at it. That's how I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Be ego talking.
I think. I mean,
that's how I believe that.
Truthfully, I think that's what's going on at Fox right now. Do I think we've gained Patreon listeners from Fox? That's from Jeremy. A couple here and there, but it's nothing moving the needle. But I will say, if we continue to do this and do more stuff with Fox, whether it's on FS1 TV or Fox Sports Radio or whatever the case may be.
But the thought is what is TV? Who gives a shit about TV?
Streaming, maybe
online probably is more valuable.
Yeah, like TV, who knows? But my thought, Covino, is there's a sense at Fox now. I'll be like Covino. I'll let my ego talk a little bit. There's a sense at Fox right now, and I feel like the sense spot is these guys are really different, and they're fun, and we like them a lot. We have nothing at this exact moment in the full-time capacity to bring on Covino, Rich, and Spot, but I feel like the first drop of something where someone, let's say some radio or TV host moves on or gets fired or goes to a different company, I really do feel like we are towards, if not on the top of the list of like, who's next?
Agreed.
That's the sense I get.
Agreed.
That's the sense I get. And it's because we're not some guys that we're just put together and are trying this out. I think they even notice that.
There's a lot of guys, a lot of people, millions of podcasts out there, and their claim to fame is, yeah, we're like your buddies hanging out at the bar. That's been our thing since day one, and we're the best at it. So we're just waiting for that opportunity to prove that, and with your support, we'll get there.
Yes, sir.
That's really it.
Let's see. What's a realistic number of listeners, more listeners, that would make us more comfortable?
Double it. Double what we got.
Let's say it's 50-50. Let's say it's 50-50. 50% of people do audio only and the other 50% do video. Then that's an average of 750, right?
You know, for me, it's not about comfort in the numbers. For me, it's about growth in the numbers. I just want to see an upward trend.
And that's hard to do, Spot. It's hard to do on a subscription platform. We're grateful that you guys are with us.
I just want to see the upward trend. That's all I want.
You know what we give people that other podcasts don't? Hours and
laughers.
Really? You know, laughers. Laughers is what we give people.
You know what?
The end.
Well, no, I want to know the answer to your question.
No, we give people laughers. No, we give people hours of daily live content.
Laughers.
4 to 5, 5 days a week, most weeks, where
we almost give
even
too much.
Even I agree with Spot that not we give too much to you guys. I'm just saying, based on what the template is for podcasts and video now, most people do 2 to 3 a week.
I think too much. Not that we're giving too much because we're able to deliver what we deliver, but I do think at a certain point it's oversaturation, and it's almost like it's almost like when you have a task to do and you know it's such a huge task that you almost keep putting it off or want to ignore it. I think people that are really dedicated to the show, and there's a lot of them, see listening as such a task sometimes because there's so much content to catch up on. So it's I think, we've done polls where we've asked people and they're like, I want more content. I want 5 hours a day,
no
5 days a week.
Less. Like if like Spot, and I'm not critiquing your theory, but Covino and I were like, Spot, that's a flawed fucking theory. Because if you ask me, Rich, what do you love? I'll be like, I love Ozark. Do you want more episodes? Of course I want more episodes. Hey, Covino, what do you love?
Cobra Kai.
Yo, Covino, would you want more episodes?
Yeah, you would want more episodes.
No one
but-
would say, I want to keep wanting more. That's from the content side. Content knows you want to keep people wanting more. As a consumer, hey, do you want more meat on your burrito? Of course I want more meat on my burrito. Give me another spoonful. No one's gonna say, I'm good with what I got.
That ain't meat.
Everyone wants more, and it is meat spot. Chipotle is very clean. I don't like frozen meat. I don't like frozen.
So
meat.
anyway,
Frozen
thank you
meat.
guys. Thank you. Christopher Frey, what's up?
thank you.
Austin Arnold, Jacob Moultrie, Sean S., Amanda P. Thank you guys for being here. Patreon 1 year anniversary, so that's our reflection. I feel like we've come a long way.
I could use an extra. I could use it to answer the question though, because I'll answer any question. A couple extra $1,000 a month when it hurts. I'll do the math on that. Couple extra 1,000 people. I could use a little. I could pay for Emmy and Ben's daycare. That'll make me happy.
I just wish I knew the blueprint.
I know.
That's what I wish I could figure out. There is no blueprint, and that's what drives me insane. If you told me to do X, Y, and Z, I would do X, Y, and Z. But no one, or I would do A through Z.
I have to beg Spot to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
It makes me lick his feet to do X, Y, and Z.
X, Y, and Z.
Please,
Lick his
Spot.
feet.
Please,
Lick his feet.
Please, Spot.
Yeah, none of it. I
Why
agree.
don't-
Preston at least is
Why
honest.
can't
That's
you-
what I love about Preston.
Why can't you do X, Y, or Z?
Because
Preston,
I'm a host. That's why.
Preston would say.
Let's go down that road.
Preston would say what everyone says. None of us would say less. That's just common knowledge. Like, hey, Covino, I'm going to give you a big, barrel of Sour Patch Kids. You want the little bag or the big bag? Everyone wants more, Come on.
Spot. We all have strengths. My strength is not packaging the show.
His strength is hosting.
My strength is hosting. That's what I do. That's what I'm good at. My strength is making stupid
While
clips, stupid
our
jokes,
roles
coming
have
up with
been-
content every day, filling hours of airtime.
All he's
That's
saying
my
is
strength.
that
I'm not good at that.
while our roles have been redefined and we're partners in a business.
Agreed. I'm not good at
What
those
he's
things.
saying is he's a host, and that's what he does best.
Yeah.
You are a producer. That's what you do best. So he's just saying.
You don't think that I haven't taken on responsibilities, that I have no idea what I'm doing?
No,
over the
you're-
past-
but
look
you're-
at the first show.
But those are your strengths.
Look at the
those-
first
those
show.
are
not my
But those are your strengths.
Look at this
Bob.
first show.
Those are
Do
your
you think-
strengths.
Do you think I knew what I was doing back here? No, but I've learned. So you can learn new things.
I know what my strengths are, but those are not my strengths. My strengths are saying to Spot,
All right,
paying
so
attention
host-
to detail.
So
and
host more content then.
I do every
That-
day,
that
more
would-
than most people.
No,
More
but-
than most people.
But you guys,
Post more content. Go
both
on
have
every day.
Instagram Live every day. Go on TikTok Live every day.
You guys both have points, but there's
Get yourself out there. Spend all day hosting. That's your strength.
I do a lot of that.
yeah.
I do.
It's flawed thinking though. All right, do you want more jubbos or less jubbos? I'll take less jubbos, guys. Is anyone gonna say that?
You're misunderstanding my point.
What do you want?
You're taking it to the extreme.
What do you want? Little jubbos? What about the lesser more?
I always
Yeah.
want more.
Oh no,
jubbos.
we give away Spot. I'm with you. Compared to the average podcaster or content provider,
I don't think people want, extreme amounts of content, but I don't think they want less content. I think less content would be more. Less is more, as they say.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that.
So we're here on our 1 year
100%.
anniversary to let you know we're now doing a once a week half-hour show.
No, not at all. Not at all. But
Spot
I
would be
do
like,
agree
yep.
with that. I do.
I think I
agree with that a lot.
And then, you're maximizing your content. I think we spread out a lot of things. We could focus.
What Spot's saying is
On that hour-
Spot's saying the days of the
Honestly,
days of 26 episodes in a season of a sitcom has now become a season of 10 episodes.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that we do a free Twitch Friday every Friday for free, that just gives a lot of people the fix that they need to not subscribe. That's really all it does.
So
it's not helping us grow.
It's
the
a double-edged
exact
sword.
Opposite is counterproductive.
What's the old
It's
phrase?
reminding people that we're out there, but it's just enough for the people that don't want to subscribe. So they don't.
Yeah, think of what you're saying. It's a double-edged sword. How do we get our name out there to get new people?
You got
You got to
to
be out there. But by putting yourself out there, for some, a once a week podcast is like, that's all I need. That's my fix of Covino Rich, which would mean them saying, oh, I listen to this podcast once a week and I listen to the Covino Rich one once a week. I don't need Patreon. So we're at a weird, position there. It is a catch.
We give away too much with that stuff. But that's on us. That's not on you guys. That's just like strategy and strategy. And like Spot said,
but you have
there
to be
is no
out.
blueprint. Like you got to figure out what works. You know what? You know what? I watched something just to transition and get off this. It's like a science experiment. Do you know the owners of Subway? I didn't know this. The owners and starters of Subway were scientists. And to truly figure things out, you need like a control. Yeah. So they had one store and it wasn't working. You know what it was called? Pete's.
Pete's.
And one of the biggest flaws was people would come in and be like, yo, you got pizza? They're like, yo, we don't sell pizzas.
Oh, pizza
No. They're like, we sell submarine sandwiches. They're like, oh, but I heard it on the radio. So they said pizza marines. No, Pete's submarines. Oh. So what wasn't working in the first store, they were like, instead of folding and saying, that's it, we're going in debt.
Yeah.
They said, let's open up another store for a control. We're scientists. This is an experiment. Figure out what works, switch things up, and come together collectively as one.
Pizza
and
pie.
That was the battle of Blimpie and Subway and things like that. So my point is, what's my point? My point is we're still figuring out what works and what doesn't. And I'll tell you what doesn't work.
Were those
Doing
the same
a free show every Friday.
Were those the
Doesn't
same?
work.
Were those the same scientists that developed their fucking tuna, whatever that is, their fake meats?
That was recently, right?
They're
Their
foam
fake
bread.
Their foam bread and fake meats. I used to love Subway, but yeah, we used to have Subway every day.
Pete's
Eat
Submarines.
fresh, I guess.
Pete's Pizza Marines. So that's a great episode. And you know what? That takes me to where I was last night.
Oh, by the way, speaking of business, one last thing.
Yeah.
I'm not watching it yet. I'm going to start it tonight. You know, my dad, he's got to get his hearing checked. I know it's
We all do.
Me
I know.
and Dave Grohl.
but I'm saying, Spot, like I know your first quick little sarcastic quip will be about my sound, but I have the sound bar and the woofer, and when no one's here, when I have 25 people over for a Super Bowl party, sound's not good enough. But this TV, when that sound bar is cranking, it is fucking loud, and Sarah and I are like, yo, this is too loud. My dad needs to, when he wants to concentrate, he wears headphones at home. He wears headphones and closed captioning. I'm like, I think you need to get your hearing checked. Because we were going to watch episode 1 last night of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This show looks awesome. I want to watch it.
Is that the WeWork one?
About Uber.
Oh, the Uber one.
The Uber. The Uber docuseries. Well, it's not a docuseries. The Uber show with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Who else is in it? Uma Thurman? The dude from Bloodline and Friday Night Lights. Kyle Chandler. The coach. He's the coach from Friday Night Lights. It looks so freaking good. I want to watch it, but he was like, I'm going to watch it when I get home so I could really hone in. But we were going to watch that last night. And speaking of, creating a business, I'm so curious to see the origins of Uber. Because as even Sebastian Maniscalco in his comedy points out, we getting strangers' cars? Like,
I told you that. Remember the first time when the boy band lived with me and they were taking Ubers? I'm like, did you check with your parents? This is terrible. It was so foreign.
Strangers are just going to drive you around? Well, then again, a taxi driver's a stranger.
How is this safe? Yeah, it was an odd learning curve for everybody, for the public. But last night, I didn't watch that. I watched History Channel. I watched a lot of it. I referenced it. Pete's Submarines.
Pizza pie.
The Food That Built America. All those specials are fantastic. And there's a new show. I'm just throwing it out there. Rich, you'd find it intriguing. It's
very intrigued.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Adam Richman does a hell of a job.
He's great.
I'm a fan of that guy.
He's a talking head on a lot of those.
Him right now, he's involved in all of that shit.
Adam Richman is a talking
He's
head.
Somebody at History Channel
on the ones that you turned us onto, the snack-sized foods that built America, foods that made America. He's on most of them.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's a great talking head. He's burning down the house. He's fantastic. But he also hosts a lot of these shows. And one of them, speaking of double-edged sword,
that's what it
it's
is.
got to be a double-edged sword for him because he has such a passion as a historian and food historian in a lot of these shows, but he probably battles with his weight too. He's like, fuck, I love doing this, but here I gotta eat a bunch of shit for the show.
I think about that with Portnoy. I'm like, this guy eats pizza all day, every day, which seems glorious.
Yeah, but we've met Adam Richman a bunch of times. The first time we met him, he was a roly-poly.
Then he was
Then
slim.
we met, he had a gopoline on, he was slim and slender, and now he's probably out there doing all these tastings for all the History Channel things that he's doing. He's probably putting the pounds on again. He's like, fuck. But anyway, he has a new show, Rich.
Yeah.
And the concept is incredible. I think the concept is incredible. It's called Adam Eats the 80s.
Obviously connecting with the nostalgia everyone loves.
So
let me
he
guess,
goes-
it's foods, snacks, and stuff that may have forgotten from the 80s,
Yep.
or things that went away, or things that were developed in the 80s, like cosmic brownies and
Of course, yeah. I
little
mean,
hostess treats.
Does
And,
the history on that, but then he'll go to like the original Domino's, right? And he'll be like, we used to have, and it's a trial and error. Yeah. We used to have our breakfast pizza in the 80s. There was a big breakfast boom. 15% of McDonald's income came from breakfast, so everyone was trying out their bread. We had our breakfast pizza. Let's make one right now. There was 2 breakfast pizzas, and then Adam like, oh, this is fantastic. But Adam Eats the 80s. I was watching that, and it's just, again, nostalgic. People love nostalgia. And it's a pretty cool show because it does remind you of like, I used to eat Mr. T cereal. I used to love that shit.
Christopher Frey hit us up.
Yeah.
Does he tackle, or should I say better yet, did he body slam the WWF ice cream bars? Because there's nothing more 80s than those awful yet tasty Ice Cream Man WWF wrestling bars. Remember those?
I still love those. And no, not
Like the
yet.
cookie out, that like
'Cause it's a
crummy
series.
cookie.
So maybe he'll get to it, but yeah, the candies, the food. So anyway, that's what I did last night. It was a pretty relaxing Monday night. Watched some Bachelor. Shit is boring as hell. Watched some Adam Richman, who's slaying. This guy's slaying it. If you don't know who he is, look him up. You'll know him. He does everything on the History Channel. Adam Eats the 80s. Oh, and then he ate an 80-year-old's ass. So random. It was really.
Stand still, Ruth. Okay, Adam.
But
No, he's really eating the 80s, all right.
yeah, it was wild. It was wild. All right, so anyway, that's on the History Channel.
That's gross.
And I could have thought of like a celebrity from the 80s.
I just rolled with it. I mean,
Yeah.
Mr. Belvedere's ass.
Then he ate Mr. Belvedere's ass.
That was weird.
So random. I was like, wow, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Adam Eats the 80s. I get it.
So weird.
Who didn't want to eat Mr. Belvedere's ass in the 80s?
In the center square, he ate.
He ate Shadow Stevens' ass. Who was the set? Oh, Jim J. Bullock. He ate Jim J. Bullock's ass.
It's wild.
Weird,
It
man.
was
Weird.
weird, man. It was.
So it's kind of a cool concept, though. It really is. It's like, man, it's the shit we talk about all the time. And he's getting to relive all of that stuff and you're learning something, about shit you lived. So that's on the History Channel. Happy 1-year anniversary to us. And there's more to get to.
All right. Before I bring up something fun that I think you'll all like, Spock, can we get a palate cleanse that has nothing to do with 80-year-old ass? I sent you a video. It's a couple of years old.
I thought,
But you know how sometimes a video will be a few years old, but it makes the rounds again, and you're like, oh, thank God it made the rounds again because I totally forgot it.
yeah.
We love the news flubs, right? Like, but he's gay. I'm sorry, I mean blind. Or, there's a bunch of ones. The guy with the katana blade. Oh, Odell, gonna need a doctor. Like, we've seen all of them. We have our favorites of news flubs over the years. The black dude with the bug flies in his mouth.
Yeah.
Hide your kids, hide your wife guy. Bronchitis woman. We know the legendary ones. I totally forgot our buddy, football expert, got the best ears in the game, Andrew Siciliano, who used to have the biggest crush on my wife. My wife's like, I know Andrew, he would always hit me up. Andrew Siciliano, NFL Network. For some people, he does Sunday Ticket. He does Red Zone. He's interviewing a dude a couple of years ago. And it's one of my favorite live TV slips. Spot, just play it because to me,
Something about this one, though, that I feel like it was set up.
I don't think it was.
That's my first.
You
thought.
think it was set
I
up?
think Andrew handles it perfectly, but I feel like the other guy did it for
Spot, do you know this one or
for
no?
the gram.
Speaking of your back problem, Spot, pay attention.
And look, he's taken a beating physically. We know that. We've detailed it. He had a tough year last year physically. The bulging disc in his back. The bulging disc in his back. He's probably going to need surgery again.
Okay. Eventually. Gets that fixed. That said, all right.
Bulging dick in his back.
I got a bulging dick in my back.
Come on, you think that was
I
set
got
up?
two bulging dicks.
That guy's too nerdy of a reporter to mess that up. I think he.
Hey, how do you go viral in today's world, man? You know, something like that.
It's a good
How do you
throwback.
move the needle?
It's a good throwback.
It is. It's a funny one. Siciliano handled it perfectly. I like his reaction to it. But I do remember that one.
It goes unknown. It goes unknown. Oh, Andrew Hart hit us up with one that went under the radar years ago. Sergio Dip on Monday Night Football.
I never got this one. I never vibed with it.
He was just excited. Overly excited.
He's a kid who's...
English is his second language.
Exactly. English is his second language. He speaks Spanish. He's from the Deportes side of things. He's like the Rich Davis of Deportes. And he's caught up in the moment, and the world like makes fun of him and forced this poor kid to apologize. I apologize
for my bad English.
I was very, very caught up in the moment. I'm sorry to the public for my one shining opportunity. And everyone just ate him up and spit him out.
And the
Poor
craziest
guy.
part is we were at ESPN later on, and everyone's like, yo, Sergio Dip's the best dude.
And he's like the nicest
we
guy.
met him. We met him in Mexico.
Yeah, we did meet him. And
like, yo, Sergio Dip.
The world fucking shit on him, and he never got another opportunity again.
He's working at Deportes, but he never got
a mainstream opportunity because the world shit on him. Because
Sergio.
That's just wrong, honestly. It was a big clip, Andrew. I'm not going to deny that, but he was excited. I don't know. I never really got behind that one. It was funny to see his excitement, but like to badger the guy so much where he felt the need to apologize to the public. What did he do? I'm sorry, I was excited.
I was very, very excited.
I saw Spot. He brought it up. You're going to have to unfortunately pull it up. Sorry. But Sergio Dip was a nice dude. He's like the Hispanic Rich Davis.
Do you want the original Sergio Dip?
Yeah, the original Sergio Dip, which to me,
I brought a 7-layer Sergio Dip to the Super Bowl this year.
It was really great.
It was good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good dude. It was the moment might have been too big for his lack of polished English, I guess you'd say.
Beth, Coach, it's a pleasure to be with you guys here on the field from up close, just watching Coach Vance Joseph from here. You watch him now on the screen. This diversity in his background is helping him a lot tonight. Quarterback at Colorado, defensive back in the NFL, and here he is having the time of his life.
Can you please
It's really not that bad. It's a guy trying to speak English.
I mean, he had the time of his life.
Is it really worthy of the world pouncing on that guy?
It was funny in the moment. Now, looking back, it wasn't,
He got destroyed. He was crying in his hotel room after the game. To the public, I'm so sorry. I'm working on my English. It's such a thrill to be on ESPN. It's like, leave the guy alone. Everybody.
He kind of rambled a little bit, but it would be like me trying to do it in Spanish, like, hola, me llamo Rich. Excitement.
Saying nonsense. Andrew, what else are they saying on the football broadcast?
True.
I thought it was fine. But again, I was prisoner of the moment. I thought it was funny, but looking back, it wasn't that funny.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. That was a funny clip. Nice palate cleanse, and we move on. Hey, Rich, I want to just address this because when we have a friend in need, it's a friend indeed, but a friend with weed is better.
Yeah.
Jason Key. Jason Key hit us up, and we addressed this recently, so I don't want to do it again. FoxSportsRadio.com is where we addressed it because we see Rich posed the question, is it immature to delete your exes, your previous employer, all these things from your social media and your past? Is that expected? And to answer your question, yes, it's immature. Yes, it's petty. But Jason posed the question I just want to brush by real quick. He says, and I quote, see if I can find it. Do you, when moving from one relationship to the next, delete old photos and videos? Why or why not? No. Why? They're your memories. You don't display them. You don't lead with them. You don't rub them in other people's faces.
I think the answer is simple, and you nailed it.
You don't need to.
I don't need to. I don't really need to add much to what you said, other than
I'm just addressing it. Moving on.
Other than perhaps if you have some gushy, mushy public display of affection photos on your Instagram or Facebook, maybe you make them private. You, as
Agreed.
Spot said, there's a way to archive them.
Yeah, if there's one and you're sucking face, that's not really a nice thing.
If
for
you
your
break up with your girl,
significant other to see,
if you break up with a girl and you have a picture on your Instagram of you like cupping her cheeks, like smiling, like maybe cheek cupping, maybe that's the one you hide or you archive it. But everyone's got, as Covino loves to give the shout out to the brand, the Rubbermaid. You always bring up the Rubbermaid
or the shoebox,
the Rubbermaid bin of your high school yearbook, your jersey from high school, your love notes from your high school sweetheart, your pictures of family, the ball you got autographed at Yankee Stadium when you're a kid in the 80s, like your memory box. There's no harm in having, that would be like saying, yo, you threw out your pictures of you and your girl at the prom, right? Because that's an ex. It's like,
that's dumb.
It's ridiculous.
Those are your memories. And for anyone to have those expectations on you are in the wrong, and they're insecure and they're petty. And it's a red flag. If you're dealing with anybody, we saw it in this season of Love is Blind.
Oh, the black girl.
If you're dealing with anyone, like, yeah, what's that? Who's that from? Your ex? Yeah, we'll throw that away. Fuck you. No, you going to buy me a new one? If you buy me a new one, I'll throw it away. Hey, these pictures, your memories, your life, yeah, delete it, erase it, throw it away. Fuck you. No, those are my memories.
Right.
Yes, I won't display them. Yes, I won't rub them in your face. I will put them in my shoebox, into my Rubbermaid bin, and put them away because those are my memories. Eat an ass. Eat Mr. Belvedere's ass.
It's not like, like you said, like pictures, images are memories.
Yeah.
You don't display them. You don't hold, like Covino, you don't have your wedding photo up from your ex.
I don't. And I'm sure she threw hers away.
Honestly, you mean Covino, Layla, and Elvis?
Let me show you the difference, though. Let me show you the difference.
That's what I thought was.
I'm sure if you rummage through my things, you'll find that stuff, right? Because it's mine and my memories.
Right.
I guarantee you, she threw those all away.
But that is a character defining answer. That just shows you that right there. When sometimes when people say, "Give me an example of give me an example of how someone is the way they are," and their character.
If anything, it shows that they care in a unhealthy way.
Yeah, or I like to me
something off about that.
I look
and
at
off-putting.
I'm not saying, and we're quick to want to roll our eyes at your ex, and it's because we saw what you went through, and we love you as a brother. So it's hard to see someone hurt you like that. But it is so character defining that Covino would be like, "Oh, here's a picture of me, Layla, and Melody, Easter 2012," and Covino would put that in a little box of memories, and maybe one day be like, "Hey, Melody, here's a picture of you when you're a kid." His ex-wife may have put him in a fucking bonfire. Pun intended.
I mean, I would only imagine, right? I don't know.
She probably got a garbage can with Frank Stallone singing next to her burning garbage can, and she was probably throwing pictures in.
Probably.
And to me, that's psycho behavior. That's behavior.
Petty.
That's like petty.
That's the type of person that would expect you most likely to delete and throw away, and it's like you put no value on the life you led up to that point. It's like, I'm not throwing those away because you think I should.
I'll be honest. Sometimes,
Rich, do you hate stuff?
Yeah.
Do you have mementos of or photos of previous things?
I do. Okay. I have.
Dude, I'm wearing a chain right now that my high school girlfriend bought me.
Wow.
If you were dating that black girl on Love is Blind, she'd be like, "Well, you're gonna stop. You're gonna stop wearing that."
Actually, my high school girlfriend's mom bought me this, so even weirder. Hey, and you know what? If Jordan wants me to get rid of it, tell her mom to buy me a new one.
I could probably
nice
find
nice herringbone.
Spot just based on old school memories. Thanks, babe.
Thanks, babe.
Thanks, babe.
It's all good.
Oh man,
Sarah brought me coffee for those on tier 1. I appreciate it.
Thanks, babe.
Thanks, babe. Thanks, babe.
Thanks,
babe. I could probably within literally 30 seconds find you a picture of my past life, just because in the guest bedroom I have my crates of radio shit and personal effects from like childhood until now. And
one Swedish made penis enlarger.
Yeah, I have next to my Swedish penis enlarger and my Real Touch.
Rich Davis personal effects.
Yeah, with like I probably have it's probably mixed in there with a fucking Hulk Hogan wrestling figure and a New York Mets plaque. But no, I have pictures and stuff of exes, and I think it's totally normal to keep those things.
Yeah.
Put away.
Put away. They're in a Rubbermaid bin in the guest bedroom where they should be.
And I would never expect anything different on the flip side of this scenario. So to answer Jason's question, no, if you're deleting shit, it shows me that you care too much. Like, he's like, should I delete? Like, deleting them or ripping them or throwing them away. It's like, to me, like, you got to get over it. Whatever, I feel like you got the issue if you're doing that. Like, just put it away. That's all. Those are your memories. One day you'll look back as an old guy and be like, oh, look at that. I forgot I went to Aruba and we had a good time.
Brett's right. In fairness, I do have pictures of my wife with multiple girls I've dated. So, but nonetheless, I think your memory should not be thrown away. They should be respectfully and politely tucked away. The end.
Jordan and I disagree, actually. She said keeping gifts and stuff is one thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But getting rid of photos, especially when the breakup is traumatic, you guys are dumb and ignorant. I couldn't disagree with her more. Like, I couldn't care.
Like, does she think you should get rid of
no sort of sentimental, like, traumatic weight? If anything, there's a positive. Like, these are my memories. There's nothing negative about it.
So Jordan,
like, so I'm healthily over it.
Healthily
to the point where these are just my memories. And if my kid wants to see these things one day, I have those things.
Yeah, no knock on Jordan. I wonder if her opinion's different if it involves your daughter. Like, meaning, I think any picture involving a kid should never be gotten rid of. Like, let's say it's a picture of like, oh, here's pictures when Melody was a baby, and it's you, Layla, and baby Melody.
Yeah.
Supposed to throw those out? It's pictures of your daughter.
You just put them away. I mean, I have old hard drives with like, I don't even have the connector for them anymore. Like, I don't even have the wire for them, but I know that they're there.
I have a video somewhere that one day.
I mean, who cares, right?
One day I'll watch it just for shits and giggles. But I have a video. No, it's not of someone playing with my balls. I have a video of.
Can we change from shits and giggles to shits and laughers?
Yeah,
that's
for shits and laughers.
Bar when we open it up.
Yeah,
shits and laughers.
Shits and laughers is our new. Yeah, it's our new bar
for poops and laughers.
Poops and laughers.
For poops and laughers.
That should be our podcast name. Poops and laughers. We tell fart jokes and we laugh a lot. Poops and laughers.
Oh, you know what? Jordan makes one good point though. This is a good point. One good point.
Yeah.
She goes, "Why would I keep photos of an ex up?
Not up.
For people to snoop and creep. Like, so, like, there's some satisfaction that he would get, right? If he went there. Yeah, so those are ones you archive. I agree. But you don't have to be crazy about him. Like, I'm burning them all, deleting them. Like, you have a past. Everybody has a past. It is what it is. And you move on.
Doesn't the Spice Girls say something about it?
If you want my future, forget my past.
Yeah.
If you want my future.
Forget my past.
These guys on
If you
Pop
want to
2K
be my
and
lover. That's 90s. That's why I'm out. It's out of my. Mark McGrath would know that. It's the 90s, bro. You're
Better make it last.
Spaghetti. So anyway, to
Don't
Jason,
go wasting my precious
I guess people have different views on this, but
together you could be just fine. So I'll tell you what I want. What I really
well,
want.
here's the thing. I do see two sides to this. If there was something traumatic, then yeah, okay. But if it's just a breakup, I mean, that's just part of your life.
If it's a dude that was abusive, yes, I get it.
There you go.
But if it was like, if it was like, I
get
dated this guy in my 20s for 3 years and it didn't work and he was a jerk.
And you have all these like memories, you just put them away.
We went to Mexico. I burned everything. Like, all right, so okay.
So to answer both questions, because they're generational differences, you take your photos and you put them in a shoebox in a Rubbermaid bin and you put them aside. And you probably never look at them again, but they're your memories. If it's online, you archive them, you hide them, because you don't want to give the ex the satisfaction that they're still up, and you don't want to disrespect anything new.
I was looking for
like, to have to delete and erase and pretend like these things never happened is just foolish. That's really the point I'm trying to make.
I mean, if you want to get rid of all the pictures of people I slept with, you're going to be working for a long time.
That's a lot. Yeah. So that's to Jason. Thank you, Jason Key, for the email.
Then you're gonna have to delete the Covino and Rich archives of every photo we have in our gallery. Then
fine, you better get busy.
Oh,
hey, Rich, your dad just left, so this is sort of a nice conversation to have now.
By the way, Spot found a really embarrassing photo that maybe.
Can I show it? Can we show it?
Maybe on a Throwback Thursday, I'll allow it.
Okay.
Wait till Thursday. Spot found.
Oh, what a tease!
All I'm gonna say is this is a tease for tier 2.
By process of elimination,
I think
figured
I
something
will
out.
I will neither confirm. Is it neither or neither when you say confirm or deny?
Neither.
I will neither.
Neither.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
Neither. It's neither. You're right.
I will neither confirm nor deny that Spot may have found a picture of the hot girl and Tiny Tim.
What do you mean? We had this.
I know,
for
but
so
he is
long.
never. He is
never
not.
put two
It's
and-
not as public, and he has not seen it.
I've never put 2 and 2 together.
So Spot may
Because I never knew who the hot one was. And then recently you pointed out the hot one. And I'm like,
So if you lived been living in a cave, and the whole story of like
Who is Tiny Tim, in
Yeah,
other
I had a
words?
threesome situation with one smoking hot girl and her busted friend, and this I'm not proud of it, but it's a story we've told over the years. Spot may have located a picture of the girl and her friend.
I mean, I'm very familiar with this picture. Makes me laugh.
So
we'll display it maybe on Thursday. So Rich, your dad
Spot, if
just
it is
left.
public anywhere, make it private for now to make your big reveal then.
Okay.
Because I'll laugh at it with you because
All
it
right.
is pretty funny.
We'll
No
go over
disrespect
that
to those
story.
girls.
I want to hear the story about Tiny Tim.
Laughers.
Laughers.
I don't know if I can make it private.
Poops and
I'll try.
laughers. Poops and laughers.
So Rich, your dad came. Nice trip. We had a nice time seeing your dad. You went to Duke's yesterday. You did all the things you wanted to do. The only thing we didn't do is you put all this emphasis on we're all going to go out for steak. That's the only thing your dad wants to do. Go out for dinner. We never did that.
We never, you know, because he was low key about it, and I think he's very particular too. And that's not a knock on him. I don't know if your parents got like this. The older they get, like my dad wants to eat early. He wants to eat when he wants to do. Like he has a very like.
I feel like I let him down.
He's very I mean, he did want to spend a little more time with Spot, I'm sure, but we had a good time. Honestly, we had a great time. I don't think there are any complaints, but I will say confirmed the whole concept of parents not liking nice restaurants. Confirmed.
Liking what?
Nice restaurants.
Like,
Did he hate Duke's?
He didn't hate Duke's, but he got
It's right on the water.
Spot the lobster on the menu they
Lobster?
had.
Why did you
Right?
get lobster at Duke's?
I mean, it's like a.
It was one of their main.
seafoody
Like it was
place.
one of their.
like a full lobster?
Look at their menu, Bird
But like a
Brain.
whole lobster?
A whole lobster.
No, I'd get
It was
anything
full-
like I'd get like a teriyaki.
I
hamburger.
would never.
You get a hamburger at Duke's?
I would
They have
never.
a full menu of fish and entrees that are not
Damn
hamburgers.
well, I don't eat fish.
I would never order a whole lobster anywhere.
Oh, my dad loves lobster. What do you want me to say?
Lobster.
Is it
It's
peculiar
so
to get?
messy to eat a whole lobster,
Lobster.
Well, anyway,
Lobster.
long story short,
Too late.
we got the poke tacos. Nelly loved them and I loved them. My dad doesn't like sushi, so we just love those. The calamari, he was like, it's okay. But he was expecting like Italian calamari, where this was a spot. At Duke's, they flatten it out and it's with like,
It's like grilled.
it's prepared differently. It was great.
Oh, Duke's.
The waiter described the lobster entree. It's like, Spot, let's look up the Duke's menu. The lobster is known.
Trying to find a photo.
No. The lobster's known. They're like, people say it's better than Maine lobster. They're saying, and the guy did the whole story too. He's like, this lobster is found between Africa and South America. There's a coastal. It's a very odd, tasty lobster. And I was like, oh, and the guy like sold it hard too.
It's a rock lobster.
Rock lobster.
Do I still have the Duke's menu on my phone because we had to do the QR code? I might actually.
Let's see.
No.
It's all good.
I'm trying to find a picture of the lobster.
Well, anyway,
Is it the king crab legs?
no, he was like, it was good. It was all right. But I just feel like it's not. It's
Parents like simple. There's
yeah,
nothing
they
wrong
do,
with that.
and
There's
I
nothing
just
wrong
feel
with
like then where do you go then? Where do you go
Olive
then?
Garden.
Olive. I mean, I don't know.
Olive Garden.
that. Yeah, what's right?
Yeah, flat calamari, Bill.
okay
It
with
was what they do at this place. Instead of taking the tentacle and slicing it like the circles, like the loops, they go long way and they make calamari strips, which is Spot. It's pretty tasty. It's like a different way to prepare it. But yeah, no, that was my one observation.
Is it
that
the roasted Tristan lobster?
Hey,
yes,
Jim Ramsey, how do you make an octopus laugh?
Oh, it's two tails. It's tails.
yeah, 2 lobster tails. Yeah.
I thought it was the.
Oh, no.
I thought it was the whole lobster.
Jim Ramsey, how many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
How many?
10 tickles.
Ooh,
Jim.
man, that's the tier. That's the Patreon. That's what you're paying for right there.
So
That's for
it's-
Jim Ramsey.
It's this, correct?
Yeah, no, yeah. With a little broccolini and rice. Yeah, he was like, oh, it was all right. And I was like, he's
No,
never.
I didn't love it.
I'm not impressed.
He's hard to impress with food.
Why are you trying to impress him?
Why are you trying to impress him?
Not
That's the
impress. I'm
thing.
trying to have him have a great. I want him to go home. Like, know who's great at this? I'll tell you what. There's 2 people in my life that are the best at this. Steve Covino, and David Lehoots, Sarah's dad. They are great at embracing that moment and making it feel like it's the greatest ever. Like, Spot, we travel with Covino. Look at that building. I've never seen anything like it. Yo, this is fucking amazing, bro.
Just get hyped.
David Hoots is the type of guy that's like, I tell you, Rich, that is the best steak I have ever had in my life.
Did your dad drop? I don't know if you guys remember, but I said there's only one word to know if my dad approves, right? It's like waiting for the king's approval. Is he going to give the thumbs up or thumbs down, right? My dad will bite into, my mom's London broil, and he'll say, tasty. And everyone's like, oh,
tasty.
It is tasty. So you said that your dad has a word that creeps out Sarah.
Well, not to creep her out, but he describes every food this way. Everything is juicy. He said, Sarah!
Oh, was anything at
oh yes. We laughed because he went in the yard. And
juicy.
this is what impressed him the most. I'll be honest. His 4 days out here, what impressed him the most? Every morning he went out to the yard, picked oranges, and squeezed himself fresh juice. Because he's like, he loved these. Like,
your oranges, your naranjas.
He's like, juicy.
It's orange season now.
Juicy.
Rich is not lying.
Juicy.
And by the way, Rich has two types of lemons in his backyard. Jordan knew immediately what the other
Meyer
ones were.
lemons.
Meyer
lemons.
lemons.
Meyer lemons are
the
Spot, they're
Meyer.
half citrus, half lemon, but they lean
Jordan's
more
like, they're
lemon.
Meyer lemons. You guys are so dumb.
Meyer lemons are the good ones in the yard. The ones on the side are just fucking big ass lemons.
And Rich's oranges are absurdly
juicy and sweet. And he's like, oh. My dad does this thing too when he sips something. He goes like this. This is a Greg thing. Yeah. I don't know if did your dad. Yeah, no. Oh, juicy.
So juicy.
He fucking loved it. So
so dinner with my dad and your dad would be a successful dinner.
Tasty.
Tasty.
Juicy.
As
tasty.
As Covino would say,
juicy.
This is juicier than a pair of butt cheeks.
This is I'll give you that. It's tasty.
Juicy. So anyway, your dad, right?
Great time.
Great time. It was good to see him. You said he got emotional about our theory, our countdown theory.
He told me something the other night that he'll probably hate that I share with you. He said 60 plus years of his life, he never cried. He was a cold Russian. And he's like emotional at the drop of a hat now. He's like, I watch TV shows, commercials. I talk to you guys. I talk to my kids. He's like, he went 60 years of his life not crying. Someone would die, he wouldn't cry. Someone would have. My dad said he went 60 plus years of his life with the guy mentality of like, I'm a guy.
Yeah,
I don't cry.
Yeah.
And now he's like,
well, you can't force it.
He'll be watching an American Idol backstory now and be in tears. He said.
Oh, Sunday was really emotional.
I watched it, Spot, because you said it, and I'll talk about it later. So go on.
Something happens. Something cuts your heart. And then that wound's just open forever.
I don't know what it is, but I like that. Sarah loves that version of Greg because he is more open now. He's more emotional now. He was honestly, my whole childhood, I never had a bad relationship with my dad, but he was never like emotional. Now, like the last couple of years, a switch was flipped. And I don't know if anyone else's parents are like that. Maybe you hit 60 something and I don't know what it is, but he went from I don't cry, I don't get emotional, I don't really hug, I don't really do anything, to very, very emotional.
I think it happens.
Yeah.
Think of when, I had this memory the other day, when you would visit your grandparents, right?
Yeah.
The goodbyes were always emotional, right? Yeah. And then to the point where you'd be pulling away and they're at the door, right? They're at the door like, bye. Yeah. Because you don't know if it's the last time you're going to see each other.
I know.
But
I know.
So much so, like if someone leaves your house now, you're like, yeah, later. Let the door hit you. Where the good Lord split you. Grandparents get up and they fucking wave you till you were out of their sight.
Sarah's mom does that when we leave Texas.
See what I
she
mean?
Cindy's on the front stoop, like, and we're down the block. We look back in the rear view. She's
more
still
sentimental about it. You get more emotional. I totally get it. I understand. Yeah, like I have clear visual memories of just seeing my grandma at the door.
I make sure that every time I see my parents, Sarah's parents, even friends of mine whose parents I'm close with, I always make sure to remember the moment, take it in, get a picture. And
you got to make it memorable. See, a lot of people might not have seen it, But when I was saying goodbye to Greg, I pinched his ass. And he looked at me, but I wanted him to remember.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
He pinched my ass.
My dad told my dad told a funny story to me. I'm sorry to be ADD, but it's funny. He has a friend, the guy we went away with, Spot, on vacation, the one that we loved. Remember the old Russian guy?
The guy from Billy Madison.
The guy that looks like he was from Billy Madison? Michael? My dad's like, I had to get used to it. He's a very funny, like kissy, huggy European type of vibe.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Greg. Like, he's drinking. He gives my dad like a kiss on the cheek and like gives him a little hug and punch him. My dad's like, I've never had very touchy friends. I've gotten but he's like,
that's funny.
So yeah, I guess as we get older, like Michael saying, my dad the same way. Some people,
yes,
you hit an age, you get emotional.
You do. And when I pinched Greg's ass, I said, juicy.
Juicy.
He said,
Juicy.
Oh, they gave me a fist pump. This all happened really quick.
Yeah.
You might have missed it. So anyway, I bring up your dad for a reason because I want to know if you've had any of these observations. Because this goes back to another friend in need or a question that one of our listeners posed. Our buddy Steve Gio. You know Steve Gio,
Of course
right?
I know Steve Gio.
He's got the business cut. That's his social media profile, his business cut. Does anyone lie to their parents about the price of things they buy? Oh, yeah. I was telling my mom about concerts I was going to, and she asked the ticket price. I instinctively dropped $100 off of each ticket. I'm in my late 30s. I have a good job. I can more than afford the tickets, but still feel the need to downplay the price. I'm sure there's some psychological reason behind this. Your thoughts? And a lot of our Carls, Covino and Rich listeners, Ian Kennedy and the Carls, responded. And I wanted to pose this question. And your dad just got here, so you did all this renovation.
Yeah.
You did all that. I want to know, did you downplay any of it? Did you upplay any of it? And
that's a good
your
question
thoughts on this. And of course, I got the Sebastian Maniscalco clip for you.
standby.
Yeah, let's play Sebastian, then I'll give you my thoughts on this, and we'll take your feedback as well. 412, the letter C in our show. I'll check the text message and of course the in-show chat.
But I do want to know your dad's thoughts because even when he came to my house, his body language was this. Oh. I noticed it
so
right away.
opulent.
And it was in it from a good place, but he was like,
that chandelier must have
Oh, he
cost
even
a
asked Covino,
fortune.
goes, that opulent chandelier, how do you even clean that thing?
yeah, he was, but I appreciated it. I appreciated that he was
hangs off
really
the ledge.
observing, you know? He's like, nah. So I'm wondering,
Did he go up the spiral staircase? Oh, look at the staircase.
Oh, he was like,
Mess
well,
up
what's up there? He was very inquisitive.
The
He liked Covino's
spiral
place a lot.
staircase.
My dad's a bit more modern than I am as far as decorating. So I think my dad vibes with like Covino's style, like the chandeliers and shiny shit. Like
and my
that's
place
his
was
style.
designed by a Russian drug lord, so
My dad is Russian and likes drug lords.
yeah.
So.
I knew it looked Russian and opulent. Oh. So let's play this clip from Sebastian Maniscalco.
Here's a good one, by the way. Bleacher Bum said, bought a snowblower, $1,200, and my dad asked how much. Gave him way less of a price.
Ready?
Yeah.
But they don't share like my family shares. My family comes over, it's a critique of everything. My father comes to critique everything in the house. He asks me what I pay for stuff constantly. He'll walk around the house and just pay, how much you pay for that? What they take you for? Tell me. So now I gotta give him parent price. Can't tell your parents the full price. They'll have a heart attack.
So I have a thought about Sebastian, by the way.
knock 90%
Not to get off tangent, but
He says you knock 90%. That's his dad, by the
yeah,
way.
you knocked 90% off.
But my father can't even take the parent price. I go, I don't know, Dad. I think it was $400. $400!
I can make that.
Yeah, so again, he speaks
So
of
I
parent
think.
price.
Yeah,
That's
that's
sort of
good.
what I was getting at based on Steve Gio's questioning. And yeah, I think there's an instinct that we do have to downplay it because I think it comes from the fact that our parents come from humble beginnings. Think of Sebastian's dad. He's an old Italian guy. He would never live the opulent life that Sebastian lives. And I would say the same applies to us. And that's not to say everyone's parents were poor, but they come from a different generation where they wouldn't have spent that much money on that.
I'll give you my thoughts on this, but my bigger thought is about Sebastian Maniscalco because we've known him for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
He went from...
well over a decade now.
We know him...
We had no gray in our hair when we
know
met
him from the days...
He had full black hair when we met him.
We know him from the days when he was playing small clubs around New York City.
He did our DBC.
He opened for me at a comedy convention.
Yeah.
Think of that. The guy's making $20 million a year now.
It's incredible.
Here's my thought about Sebastian, not to go too much off tangent, but has his shtick been affected a bit because of his success? Sebastian's shtick was, I come from an immigrant family. I don't get it. Look at these people spending money doing this, doing that.
Delivery guy.
Meanwhile,
I was the delivery guy.
Meanwhile, Sebastian is now living in, and his wife comes from money. So Sebastian lives in like a palatial mansion over, like he has multiple houses. His kid had a birthday party, and they hired a horse with a unicorn.
But I think the humor comes from he is a fish out of water. Like when he's doing these silly things. I feel
think
like he
is,
knows like this is my wife making me do this. I don't even feel comfortable.
I think he's rich guy now, and his shtick has adjusted. Like his dad and him were him and his dad were sitting 50-yard line at the Super Bowl.
That's like
and
Ellen
now his whole
DeGeneres,
but on his social media, he's like he wrote a beautiful message about how my dad and I went to go see Michael Jordan play in Chicago when we were kids, the last row of the stadium behind like a pole, and I was just happy to spend that moment with my dad. So happy that I could return the favor now, essentially as a rich guy sitting 50-yard line at the Super Bowl. So I think it's a great story, but I think part of Sebastian's shtick of like, look at all these people and what they do, he's a guy that does a lot of these things now.
Yeah, like people say that a lot about Stern, how he complains about the AC in his limo.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah,
Well, Ellen did a whole shtick on that though, called Relatable on Netflix. So I think that this gives Sebastian a lot more material in a different way.
If he plays it like plays it as if he's a fish out of water, yes. But Sebastian's the type of guy where he would talk about his humble beginnings. Like, when I was a kid, everyone had that like old grandma in the basement making spaghetti. Sebastian's now like in a gondola. He's like
lasagna.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're like now he's on a gondola in Florence, Italy, on a private little tour with his wife. Like, so he lives the opulent multimillionaire lifestyle, but the whole first half of his career was based on the opposite.
You're telling the story of a rapper, right?
I get it.
A rapper, his stories, what makes him a successful rapper is his stories of his come up, right? His living on the streets.
Yeah.
His gangster days or whatever he was doing. I mean, Kanye West is a different cat. He's talking about different things, right? But when they hit this sense of success, this level of opulence, the rhymes aren't the same. It's like, you can't be talking about dealing drugs or shooting people or whatever. You don't do that.
Your net worth is $80 million.
Right. Like, you're a millionaire now. Like, you're not even living that life. So there's something disingenuous about it. But I think this just gives Sebastian a different angle moving forward.
By the way, I want to take partial credit for his success. And I'll tell you why. When he used to come on our show, all his social media handles had an underscore in them. And I specifically remember telling him, because I would say it to you guys, I'm like, an underscore in a social media handle is weak. And we said it to him.
We joked with him about it,
and
and he changed it.
He was like,
he's like, what do you mean?
You guys think it's way?
He changed it like that week.
And he changed it that week. Yeah. And since then, he skyrocketed.
Yeah. No, it's true. That is true.
All because of the underscore.
But I remember him.
Makes you more official.
Early on. And, I saw him on a special with, what the hell's his name?
Up All Night?
Peters. No.
Russell Peters?
Russell Peters. And invited him on after that. Like, this dude's funny as hell. And then he was a friend of the show. Anyway, he brings up this parent price. Now, the question was, do you think there's anything psychological behind it?
Who posed the question again? Give him a shout.
Steve Gio.
Steve Gio asked, do you give your parents fake prices or do you discuss that
And
stuff?
what was the scenario, the situation with you and your dad as he did his,
We talk about all honest pricing because he's at the him and I, well, keep in mind my relationship with my dad is very based on like our hobbies together are the stock market and football gambling.
Got it.
So there's no, that's like that's our small talk. My dad and I talk about the market. We talk about football. So there's no hiding that type of stuff. In fact, he just told me, like, I'm surprised he he's influenced by his wife in a great way. His wife.
I was thinking that, Rich. I was thinking that. Like, I don't know if you have some sort of lovey-dovey. I don't know what your relationship is with Nelly, right? And I know it's a good one. I mean, but I don't think it's a motherly.
It's not a lovey-dovey motherly, but
she's going to be a good grandma. And you said she was really great with
She's so great
Emmy,
with the kids, and she has been
opened the world up for your dad.
My dad.
In such a way,
You have
right?
respect.
Like,
you have respect for her.
You have to.
And what she brought to your father's
it's
Dude, think
later
of like
years.
all the things Greg has seen,
Right.
and all the traveling he's done, courtesy of Nelly. Like, dude, that's priceless.
My dad,
like, you gotta love her for that.
Oh, I do. I love her. I love her for how she is with the kids, and I love her for what she's done for my dad.
I think you love her more than you let on and realize.
I think your relationship might not be that full on like parent feel because
but
it was later.
she
You
was
were already an
perfect
adult
for him.
when they got together, right?
My dad, when he got remarried,
so that's different.
She opened his eyes up. So he actually gave her credit after we were having drinks the other night. And my dad's like, I love to bust her chops and criticize her. And my dad and Nelly have a funny relationship when we're drinking and having fun.
cuts on him.
They cut on each other, make fun of each other. And he's like, I gotta say, Nelly has opened my eyes up. And he went on to talk about how he was raised that things are good enough. Like Nelly's like, Greg, we need to redo the kitchen. And she's like, his first instinct is always like, no, we don't need to do that. What are you wasting money? We don't need new. He's like, Greg, we need new cabinets. And Nelly would say he'd eventually give in. And then the first people that have company over, Greg would be like, hey, look at our new kitchen. And she's like, you can't take credit when you fought every step of the way. So now
but she was right.
Oh, Nelly, where do you want to go? Oh, maybe we'll just go away for the weekend, Jersey Shore, the Poconos. Nelly's like, why don't we go to Italy? You have the money. And Greg, we don't need to. My dad's been around the world because of Nelly and her influence.
There's something super interesting about that. Because instinctively, I think that's a lot of us.
My dad
especially
said
my parents.
he
Instinctively,
is
I feel the
reluctant.
way that your dad feels. Like,
Reluctant to do anything. And Nelly has
that nudge. And
she gave him the nudge. Yeah, every little thing. And she said that her parents in Belarus were like that, and she's like that. And it's a lot of relationships where one person needs the nudge. And a lot of times it's the guy saying, we don't need to spend the money. And then when they do, the guy's the first to be like, hey, look at our new yard. It's like, look at our new yard. Do you mean the one that you fought for? Like that you fought against?
Yeah, I think that's a really common sort of thought process we all experience. Yeah, your dad's a great example of that.
And you know what? No offense to the other side of my family, but the influence a partner could have on you, positive or negative, I got a front row seat. My dad and Nelly, my mom and Butch. Yeah. Honestly, I got the science. I got the field study of
great perspective.
I got the field study of what a partner could do for your life. A partner could drag you down. A partner could elevate you, right? And it's pretty cool that, like, even with food, Greg, you got to try this. I'll do.
No can do.
Greg,
I'll get the lobster.
Greg, how come you don't eat seafood? I don't think I like it. Greg, I made tuna steak tonight. Oh, this is actually tasty. Like he's open. Juicy.
Oh,
opens
juicy.
his eyes.
I say
up.
tasty.
Nah, juicy.
You say juicy.
Juicy.
So to wrap up the original question, though, and this is great conversation.
Parent price. Yeah.
You don't flib.
I used to.
Yeah.
But Nelly has convinced my dad. You retired. You have a pension. You invest wisely. You own your house. Why aren't you getting the $47 lobster?
Right.
Why do you want to go to the Poconos?
I don't need
Let's go to
poke some hoes.
Oh, I'll give you a great example.
It's like my mom. She plays a super humble card, where she doesn't need any of that. It's like, well, yeah, nobody does. But why don't you enjoy your life? You get one.
My dad. The reason this came up too is that my dad's Nellie's about to get a new car, and I think she wants an Audi or a Lexus or something.
But you know what? Hold on. I'm sorry. Yeah. I think all of this ties together. And this answers the psychological question.
It's a coming of age type of thing.
that Gio's asking, why do we lie to our parents, right? I think my mom plays the humble card of, I don't need any of that. We're going to make chicken cutlets, right?
Yeah.
Because she has this guilt trip of the humble beginnings her mom had.
Yeah, my
You know what I
dad.
mean? Like,
my dad said the same
grandma
thing.
didn't wear shoes. She didn't have shoes growing up.
My dad
so
said the
my
same
mom's
thing.
gonna live opulent. Like there's a sense of guilt. Like I can't live opulent. Like, what would my mom think? She didn't even have shoes when she went to school. You know what I mean? Like my family was so dirt poor in Mexico that how can my mom feel cool about living opulent?
She probably felt guilty when she got her Mercedes.
So it answers the question. You know, like there's this feeling of like, oh no, I got to be humble because what is my family gonna think? Like I can't be this other person. So,
but it's also generations. Spot, you can back me up on this. Generations of the same mindset that you have to break. Because if you come from, and we all do, honestly, none of us come from money. We all come, all of us in this room, and many of you, probably your grandparents or great grandparents or maybe even your parents immigrated here with not much.
Yeah,
and within a few generations, all our families became middle class.
So then how could you say I spent
$400 on a painting
to your humble ass parents?
But I think
that's the parent.
A
price.
car is a great example. Nellie does really well. She's an accountant, and my dad's retired. And Nellie's getting a new car, and my dad's first instinct is like, do we need that? And Nellie's like, Greg, and she makes fun of him. When I met you, you had a Saturn
with the club,
and he's like, I don't know why you made fun of my
father had the club.
I don't know. I don't know why. And he's like, I liked my Saturn. And we were making fun of him. And my dad had never bought a new car.
Right.
My dad was I'll buy a used car in the neighborhood. And it's breaking generational mindsets. And Nellie's like, well, we need a new car. I think I want a Lexus or an Audi or something. And Greg's like, and she's like, but give me an argument as to why we shouldn't treat ourselves.
That's why
our house is paid off. You have a pension. You're retired. I'm working. We have no kids. Like we take care of our family when we can. Why on earth would you cheap out? You're 70. Get the car you fucking want.
And that's
my
why you
in-laws
feel
are
good.
the same way.
Your what, Spotty?
My in-laws are the same way. Yeah, it's like.
But don't you feel good though when you
why
see
are they
them?
in Albany right now? Albany.
Yeah.
What's going on in Albany?
That's where they went.
Yeah, Albany.
Well, that's why I feel good if and when my parents do splurge, and you see that more and more as they get older. Like, oh, finally, I hope they continue living life and going places and buying nice cars. Like my dad wants a nice luxury car. He's like, yeah, the way I look at it, if I buy one more, it'll probably be my last. I'm like, then fucking get a nice one. Yeah, but your mother says, don't worry about what your mother says. Get whatever you want.
He didn't drive around in a delivery truck for years just so he could sit in a Honda Civic.
Yeah, and when I see them, getting a little taste of something nice, I'm like, you deserve that. Yeah. But it all goes back to parent price and why we lies because our parents raised us to be humble.
You just
they were humble.
You nailed it. It was I'll back up Rolando. It's what we're all talking about. Because Spot, everything from parent price to our parents reluctant to splurge all comes back to one thing. Breaking generational financial mindsets. If you come from a family where grandma, grandpa, or your great-grandparents came here with next to nothing, and it took a couple generations to build up to like middle class, upper middle class, the mentality is like, well, grandma wore fucking boxes on her shoes. I feel guilty getting a Mercedes.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Not to hurt your point, but I also use wife price, if that counts.
What's wife price?
You soften the blow, like if she brings up something. It's like, you even it out, but you round down.
I get it.
You don't fully go like.
I'm trying to think
Not
of
like
what
big
I
things,
downplay.
but
Like
something
what
that
do you
bothered me.
downplay?
Every little thing
Something
I
that
buy.
bothered me, Covino.
Yeah.
Little things.
Something that bothered me, and I mentioned this once before. When I think back, my grandfather who passed away in the 90s, he died with money. Not a ton of money, but he died with money in the account, and all he wanted, he would always talk about like, oh, you know what I love? Because it was the 90s and 80s. Lincoln. He wanted a Lincoln Town car.
Yeah, Lincoln
you know why
Town
he never
cars.
got one?
Old men.
Because my grandmother was probably like, you don't need that, Bill. And he was like, well, I got my grandkids and my daughter. And I hate the fact that my grandfather died in his 70s, never having his Lincoln Town car.
That does suck.
Like he wanted a Lincoln Town car.
Definitely did.
Know what he had? He had a Dodge. Because he just had a regular Dodge that he got around town with because he wanted the Lincoln Town car. But my grandmother was probably like, you don't need that, Bill. And he's like, I guess I don't. Guy had 9 fingers. Could have got a Lincoln Town car.
Yeah.
Remember, already chopped off his face.
That sucks. But yeah, parent price is a real
You
thing.
didn't save it. You just threw it out.
Just threw it out.
And I'm trying to. Is there anything that you do downplay though?
To Sarah sometimes, not because I'm hiding it, because I don't want her to get scared, on a bad day or a good day in the market.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Like I don't tell her like, hey babe, our account went down $9,000 today. But then on the flip side, I don't want to get her too excited, like, because it's not always good. I don't want to be like, hey, today was like a plus 10 grand day in the market. Like I don't want to tell her the day to day because she 100% is like, that's you. I trust you. So on a bad day, I don't want to be like, hey, by the way, you see all these stocks that are down fucking 10% today?
Well, like you said, you don't want to get her worried, right? To answer Steve Gio's question too, that's why we lied to our parents, to avoid, you saw Sebastian, he downplayed the price and his father still reacted like $400, right? I can make that at home, $400. You're trying to avoid those scenarios and situations. You're trying to avoid that feedback. So it's not that you're lying; it's that you want to avoid that,
and it's reluctant.
You want to avoid that, so you just make I don't really talk money or my spendings with my family.
You know what?
Imagine what they would have thought in my previous life.
It's a taboo thing, Covino, but maybe it shouldn't be so much. Like, I don't know. You know what? Our parents also come from a less risk-taking nature, right?
I like when you said lesk. It was very Popeye.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Our parents come from a less risk. That's a tough phrase. Less risk taking. Say that 3 times fast, bud.
Less risk.
Say it 3 times.
Less risk taking. Less risk taking. Less risk taking.
Less risk taking generation where. Honestly, something as simple as when Sarah and I, not simple, but when we bought our house in Texas as the rental property, we bought it, sold it a couple years later. Honestly, it ended up being a great business decision. You know what my dad said when I told him I was doing it? I don't know. You're buying and rent real estate and you're going to do all that. Like, he was very much like, if I were you, I would not be doing that.
That's a bad investment.
And I was like, Dad, I just know you're not a risk taker.
Right.
Who says that? He goes, you're riskier than I am.
Oh, I don't know, Richie. Depending on other people, the rentals.
Sounds like a headache.
By the way, not worth the hassle.
Bleacher Bum, that is why, I'm reading the feedback, that is why I get appetizers at dinner now, even if I don't want one. Because we are a generation that is breaking we don't need appetizers. Because my grandparents, my parents, and every generation before that, I'm sure said, we don't get appetizers.
It's not about that. It's about my gut doesn't need appetizers.
No, but last night, even when we were at the restaurant, I was like, we'll have the calamari and the poke tacos. And my dad's first instinct was like, well, yeah, we have our entrees coming. Do we need all that? I'm like, yeah, we do. We're going to get, in fact, let's get 3 appetizers.
We're getting dessert too.
If we go to a nice dinner,
We
I'm
have
like,
priors at home.
Oh,
That's okay, Dad.
I'm like,
I'm a big
order
boy
up.
now.
Order up.
All right. So, hey, Rich, before we get into the rest of your stuff, on our 1-year celebration of Patreon, our 1-year anniversary, it's our anniversary. I want to kick into the rando news to give today's show some March 1 sort of vibe. The first of the month, rando news time. Cash your checks and
It's our
come
anniversary.
on. Rando news, anniversary show, Covino and Rich. You like our little lights? Story number 1, Spot put little lights up
I
there.
put little lights up.
Look at that, how nice that
Look,
is.
see? Little lights.
Oh, look. Oh.
And they work on a remote.
How much you pay for those fancy lights?
Oh, they were like $1 each.
Can you make them red?
I can.
Oh.
Can I make them green? I can.
We got new lights in the studio.
Can I make them blue? Yes.
Oh, ooh, I like.
Can I make them white? Yes.
Oh, I like the white.
Can I make them cycle through colors? Yes.
No, that's distracting. I want people to focus on my pompadour.
So what do you want? What color?
Red. White.
White?
Oh, white. So, story number 1. Speaking of the upgrades we're making on the show, we're still growing every day. 1 year into this.
And growing.
It's all the appetizers.
We've come a long way. We got new lights. Guess what we're doing now? We're offering annual subscriptions to our Patreon.
Yeah, and someone asked, Covino, do we prefer one or the other? Not really, but here's why I like the annual. Because Spot will tell you, there's people.
Oh, wait. I thought we were offering anal subscriptions. I
That's
read that
tier
wrong.
3 next time.
Ding. So
I stole that from Timbo Slice. That was a great joke. Continue. Yeah.
But I think for people that, I know this sounds ridiculous, but there's people that listen every month, but every month they have some type of like on the 3rd of the month, we'll see I don't know, Frank is resubscribing because
I can't access my
every month. There's some people that have like a card declines or some issue where every
issue
or something. So if you want to pay a year in advance, easiest way to do it, if you ask me, like, hey, instead of $5 or $10 a month, pay one lump sum
up front.
It
and
does
do it.
nothing for us.
It does nothing for us.
We agreed to do this to make your lives easier so that you didn't have to worry about it. We get nothing out of it as far as like extra or anything like that.
It honestly, it just eliminates that month-to-month hassle that, oh, my card got fraud this month and I forgot to update it on my account. Now I've lost all access. What do I do?
And if you want to know the God's honest truth,
and I think there's a per transaction fee. I might be wrong. So if you do one transaction per year,
save a couple bucks. Save $1 or so.
Transaction, huh?
Yeah, transaction. That's what I'm all about. Transaction.
All about transaction, huh? So
you know what my favorite car is? Trans Am.
So, you know what? I mean, it could be an easy gift for somebody, that reluctant person that doesn't want to splurge because they have these generational sort of feelings of not wanting to pay for things like that. Buy them a year annual subscription. Be like, yo, I'm buying it for you. Because we offer annual subscriptions to our Patreon. Spread the word, spread the cheeks, and hopefully it's an easier sort of process for you.
No, but even
we
Bill
don't want you
even-
worrying month to month if you don't want to.
Like even Bill just hit us up. Like you could be responsible, but it could simply be like, yeah, it's like my credit card expired, so I got a new one sent, and all the auto pays never reset, and it's avoiding the hassle. Trust me.
How many people?
I get fraud. I get fraud at least once a month.
Trust me, like
It's
it's
a
the same
number changed,
Yeah.
so they didn't renew the subscription. They're like, oh shit, I forgot. And this just eliminates all that hassle and huff of every month wondering if you'd be amazed to see how many times this happens. We see it every month now.
Spot, is there a way to let people choose the annual amount?
No.
Opposed to that, because sometimes people are kind and they give a little more for them per month. So if you do that, yeah, you know what? Spot behind the scenes, I agree with Spot in one way. Patreon's not it's by far not easy to deal with, but it's still our best option to keep everyone together and afloat. If we moved providers, then we deal with a whole other fucking annoyance.
If I knew then what I knew now.
Yeah, but
right?
I mean,
no, hold on. If I knew then what I knew now, like if I had
you would have built your own.
I could have easily. You
would have started your own company,
and I would have built our own app, and I think it would have been a much more seamless user experience if we had done it up front when everybody joined. Because I
the rug was pulled from under our feet. We didn't have time.
I do see the point, and I do worry about like telling people, hey, we're moving to our own thing, because I feel like most people would just be like, fuck it.
Yeah, later to you. Yeah, so I'm glad you see that finally.
I mean, I've always seen it, but I felt like the benefits outweighed the potential. But at the same time, it's like Patreon infrastructure was never built for a live show.
Yeah. Well,
and for what we wanted to do, but it got the job done.
I will say Preston nailed it, and we'll move on. But she just said, for instance, she had a re-up this morning, needed to update her credit card info. And this is just avoiding that. One time, and we'll see you next year.
That's it. And on that note,
if
you guys remember, for people who don't like the Patreon experience, we do offer an audio-based subscription outside of Patreon. So that's still available. If you're somehow hearing this and through Anchor, you could still just pay for audio outside of Patreon. So if you hate Patreon and you only want audio, there are options. And it's on our website, covinoandrich.com. But we want you guys to stay here on Patreon.
Once again, just making it more accessible.
That's all.
For people and giving more options.
That's all.
The more options people have,
the better.
The better.
So that's show news, right?
Show enough.
In other news, rando news of the day, I saw this shared on our social media page. I wanted to share it with you. It just happened, so I wanted to double check. I'm like, is this a news story? And it is. Lonnie Xavier Green
love that guy.
Shared this on our call page.
It's his son's birthday.
Shout out to Lonnie and his son on his birthday. Have you ever heard of Landis Hooks and Cody Hooks?
No.
Landis Hooks and Cody Hooks. According to the story, this is what love looks like. So someone call Hadaway, because what is love?
Or Fat Joe.
We're about to show you. Landis Hooks is the father of his son, Cody Hooks. Now, Cody Hooks is riding a bull, right? He's at a rodeo. Wow.
And by the way, just so people know, if this didn't work, rodeo clown was my backup job.
Rich comes from a long line of rodeo clowns.
I would have moved down to Texas and been part of the rodeo.
Hey, Rich, how much did you pay for this house? We rodeo clowns can't afford things like these. Ooh.
I would have been, you know, I'm nothing. I mean, how great would I have been? How great would I have been as a rodeo clown? Running around with a little clown outfit on, or away from the bull to distract it from the riders and stuff.
Whoa. Rich lies to his Uncle Bozo about how much he spent on this renovation.
Bozo, not much at all.
So let me
you
explain what
sure?
happens.
You come from a long line of rodeo clowns. Oh, yeah, Bozo.
So Cody Hooks is riding the bull, and he gets bucked off, thrown off, and
Little buck?
He's sort of flatlined in the moment. I don't know, loses his breath. Wind gets knocked. I don't know what happens. I imagine you hit, wind gets knocked out, you hit your head, like you're out. He's out.
Yeah.
His dad comes
Happened to
leaping
Jimmy.
in.
Like Lanny Poffo?
His dad leaps in. And dude, hold on before you play it.
Okay.
You really have to think about it because sometimes you just watch things brainless. And do you realize, like, this is why I said this is what love looks like? Can you imagine, like, caring so much about somebody? And if you have children, the answer is yes, I can imagine. But where you put all fear aside and you're so selfless, we're this wild beast.
It's not beast, it's peace.
The beast is dead in my... Where you're like, I don't care if this bull
Kills me.
I'm
Yeah.
protecting my son, and that's what I'm doing. So his dad, without hesitation, jumps in to protect his son.
Yeah, I never
From a
understood
bull.
this. I never understood this until I had kids. No offense to Sarah or any woman I've ever dated. Like, I would never risk my life for someone else.
That's what I'm saying.
Until you have a kid, like, if...
Like, remember when my ex fell into the, like, raging rapids of the Dominican Republic?
Bye, Layla.
I said, bye.
See ya.
See ya.
I'll meet you at the airport.
Nice knowing you.
But I guess if your kid's there and you're like, man, there's an alligator. You're going to wrestle an alligator to save your kid.
I would.
That's what this guy did. Take a look.
I'd wrestle an alligator.
It's pretty cool, actually. This is what love looks like. So that's Cody Hooks.
Oh,
Boom.
bucked after like 2.5 seconds.
Dad comes running in. Watch Dad.
Wow. Wow.
The dad took the hit from the bull for his son, bro.
Wow.
That's nuts. Like, think about it. Like, dude, in the face of of what? Of potential, like,
Mauling.
danger.
Yeah,
Mauling.
you're gonna get that bull could have put a horn up the guy's asshole.
Ever seen that? Have you ever seen
Please,
that?
please. Yeah, but please do that again because his dad even had the wherewithal. Okay, the bull is coming at me.
Yeah.
I'm protecting my son. Like, that's beautiful. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Honestly.
It's fucking parental instinct at its
It's
finest.
it sounds like totally cliche, but when you have a kid, you do have some type of weird dad strength or dad love or something where you would absolutely do that.
Looks like those horns are covered, though.
I'm not quite sure I
They're
would do that
stunted.
for anybody.
Dude, he
Other
took
than
a
my
shot
kids.
to the ribs, too, from that bull protecting his son. Turns out everybody's okay. Dad probably has a few broken ribs, but saved his son. So, man, what a story. And again, the instinct.
Bull
This is
riding.
all instinct, man. And you know how we just talked about a story. Oh, like, remember Matt Stafford? His instinct was to be like, yep, I know. This dude's instinct was like, I mean, you can't get more right on than that.
It's scary and beautiful all at the same
Scary
time.
and beautiful all at the same time. So that's in the news. One of my heroes in the news.
Pee-wee?
No, close though. 80s heroes.
Adam,
what's his name?
Johnny Lawrence.
No, Adam Richmond ate his ass on History Channel last night.
Oh, Mr. Belvedere?
D. Snyder.
Oh, D. Snyder.
Yeah. Adam eats the 80s. So Adam eats the 80s.
Gonna roll with that joke, huh?
He's eating D. Snyder's ass in episode 2.
Yeah.
D. Snyder's in the news. And he's my hero. Now, here's the thing. I have to admit, I don't completely understand the story. No shocker, but I'll explain it to how I know it. From my understanding, I don't know if there's anything official here where they're like, you know, where there's rights and money to be involved. But the Ukrainians want to use "we're not going to take it" as their rally cry.
Oh, and he's all about
And
it.
he's like, fuck, of course. You know, so it's just an awesome story. But like I said, I don't know. Because, you know, in politics, like certain politicians want to use a song, they have to get permission from the artist.
A lot of times it's a liberal artist who doesn't want like a Republican using their song. Like, don't use my song as a rally cry.
A lot of times. Well, I don't know what sort of legal ramifications. This is probably just like a.
It's above legal ramifications.
Yeah.
It's a war, and if what artist would say
Either
no?
way, D. Snyder was like, "F yeah, absolutely." If this
We're
gets
not gonna take it.
I think that's awesome.
So he apparently in the 80s he wore a pin that said "Russia sucks."
Oh, I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah.
Well, it all makes sense.
So yeah, he said, I absolutely approve of Ukrainians using "We're not going to take it" as their battle cry. My grandfather was Ukrainian before it was swallowed by the USSR after World War II. This can't happen to these people again. Hashtag fuck Russia.
That's badass, man. Just a cool story. That's all.
No,
But it
D.
went
Snyder.
viral. Every major news outlet covered that yesterday.
And if you want to stay on the Russia tip,
we throw up some rock horns in your honor.
So, yeah, I mean, it's just he's a badass, and he continues to be a badass, and I like seeing that.
on the
unicorns.
on the Russia storyline, the Killers canceled a show there, which I'm sure a lot of artists are going to do. No artist is going to play.
By the way, Joy Behar canceled their trip to Italy too. Just
terrible. It's devastating.
Man.
Sad news, man.
Oh, think about pasta.
I just made that up, actually.
I was going to go have a pizza in Rome, and it got canceled. So, Russia, a lot of celebrities are pulling out of concerts and events, which makes total sense. First of all, I don't even think you could fly in or out of there if you wanted. I told you my dad can't go to a wedding this summer.
Well, now
in Belarus because of Belarus's
now taking up arms with the Russians.
Yeah, Belarus is under they're under Putin, right? So that's going to be tough. Now, the other story about Russia.
I thought a Ritz cracker was under Putin.
Yeah. By the way, there's putting Putin on the Ritz.
No.
Good one.
I love that meme.
Russia.
Fuck him.
Not allowed to be in the World Cup. Is that official?
Yes. They've been pulled.
Russia has been pulled from the World Cup, which is a big deal.
Why? Because they're disturbing world peace?
I'd imagine, yeah.
Wow.
So World Cup, no Russia. And in a lighter story, just to, not make it so sad, terrible stories coming out of Ukraine. This was in the New York Post spot. There's a Putin impersonator that made his living based on doing like political humor as Putin.
Mike Dirnt from Green Day?
And now he's saying
not
his life is in danger. He went from being like a corny Putin impersonator to like now people want to kill him. So, I mean, pick and choose wisely who you impersonate, because this guy is saying life is not easy for him right now. No one's really looking for a Putin impersonator.
I mean, maybe they could like use it to, I don't know,
put the guy on SNL and use his powers for good. Putin, it's on their Twitter spot. Putin impersonator. You got it?
Yeah.
I guess just not.
This guy doesn't look that much. I feel like what was it?
Mike Dirnt
looks more like Putin.
But not a good time for Putin impersonators. I get paid to be a Putin impersonator, but now I fear for my life.
Slavek Sobola, 53, has spent the past 8 years as a Vladimir Putin impersonator. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he does look like Putin.
In Russian news, the NHL may not recognize Russia as a location as far as maybe some of their stuff. I don't know. We'll see. That's what Jeremy said. World War III around the corner? Question mark. That's from Greg Kelly.
Hope not.
Man.
Well, in other rando news, Britney Spears. What the F?
Dude.
Like, seriously.
Dude, I am the least conservative person, and I officially, as of today, we've gone too far. Have you seen Britney Spears? She is
Where's
naked.
Where's her OnlyFans?
Naked.
She wants to be
I'm
naked.
all for her liberation.
If she's gonna be naked, she might as well make
Now
money.
she's like bending over, and she's like, here, put a little emoji over my stink star.
She puts a diamond, a little tiny diamond to cover her nips in Stink Star, but so small. She's naked.
Stink star.
She's naked.
Honestly, it's
not her stink star.
It's too much. She's doggy style naked on the beach. She's laying on her back. She's laying. Britney Spears on her social media. It's no longer her.
Get this up,
Dude,
into
it
view.
is straight up like you now know what Britney Spears looks like naked.
Let me get up into view. Hold on.
It's crazy. She posted a whole photo shoot.
Spot, go full screen. If
She's
you go full screen on
naked.
Britney.
She's
Should
just
I?
straight up naked.
Okay, hang on.
I mean,
what is she doing? I mean,
apparently them areolas are in the video. Says
I ain't mad
Where's
at
her,
it,
where's
but
her
it's-
stink star?
It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, I mean that is. I mean, you know what she looks like naked. I mean, that's her
posted a
laying
video.
on her back
By
naked
the way,
with two little.
I gotta say that water looks very clear. and
Wherever
pristine.
they are, that is a beautiful beach.
That is a
Look at
beautiful
that.
beach.
That's her hoo-ha.
It's just not even flattering.
That is her.
Look at her face. She looks like a wave just hit her.
Dude.
If you blur your eyes, though, it looks like she's wearing like tights.
Oh, it does. You're right.
What is this? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
is
That's
this?
why I said Britney Spears, what the F?
Yeah.
What is going on?
A diamond over the stink star.
She's covering the crack. She's saying no to crack, but with a little tiny
That's a
emoji.
She used a big diamond on the stink star.
Yeah.
Because look at the other ones. The other. Oh, what is this?
Hand bra.
Oh, that's hold on.
Hand bra?
Oh my
But see, the other diamonds are tiny.
Yeah, the tiny diamond.
The stink star one is huge.
Going on.
Her fiance.
There's video too.
Her fiance.
Where's the video?
There's video. She posted video. Maybe it was in her story, but I saw video.
The younger, handsome guy she is with.
There it is.
Yeah, there's Brittany.
There's Brittany. It's Brittany,
Look at
bitch.
that. Where is this?
naked, bitch.
Well, her and her super studly.
Oh, he's so studly.
He's super handsome.
Sam.
What is going on here?
Got some cheeks. I'll give her
She
that.
does. She's got a little burnt. Too much sun though. She needs
I
to use
mean,
more.
let's be honest. You can't hold a 40-year-old Britney Spears to the standard of a 20. It's much like 50 Cent.
Nice.
You can't expect her to, for her age.
She looks great.
Yeah, she
For
looks
her,
good.
she looks fantastic. Not great. Fantastic.
she's
does.
toy.
Covino.
She's toy.
But
Not
you
to
have
be-
to
not
look
to be-
into. You have to stop looking at her brown eye
Yeah.
and actually look into her eyes.
Man,
and
it's a
I
little
feel like
vacant.
there's something.
Yeah.
I feel like she's
Britney Spears looks fantastic, and
Yeah,
I'll give you an analogy.
physically fantastic. Mentally, I don't know.
I don't know if you want me to bring this up or not, but recently Covino sent me a picture of two people that he went to school with at one point, and they look like they were 60 something. So if you think Britney Spears doesn't look good for 40, like that,
He's right.
I mean, people we can't hold Britney Spears to schoolgirl outfit, red latex, holding
do
a
that.
python. We can't hold Britney Spears to the 2000 standard. The same way 50 Cent, who's like an in shape 40-year-old, you can't be like, oh wait, you're not the 03 in the club 50 Cent who has abs. You're not 20 anymore.
I'd smack those cheeks.
For a 40-year-old Britney Spears,
She can get it.
her body looks great. You're right. She looks a little vacant in the eyes.
The progression, though, of her being unleashed.
I don't think
and
it's
she's just like, yeah, I just want to be. I'm expressing my freedom so much so that I'm just naked.
I think
now.
it's not her body that we're concerned about. It's her mind.
True,
And we
yeah.
think her desire to like put it all out there just seems a
it's just new and odd and different for our eyes. That's
bit
all.
much.
Yeah.
It's.
All right,
I
so
mean, not
Brittany-
even a bit.
She
Like a
continues
lot
to
much.
shock.
Oh yeah, did you see a couple people mentioned it? The video of Chelsea Handler.
Yeah, but I feel like we saw something like this like a year ago. Chelsea Handler's like, I'm getting
Skiing.
older. Look at my titties. I like her. She's been nice to us, but she's very.
It's her and
quick.
Joe Coy.
She has pasties.
She's very She's very quick to want to show the body. You know what? Joe Coy is a great dude. So
I'm just glad they're happy.
I'm glad they're happy
By the
together.
way,
but
that
yeah.
looks like a lot of fun. I got to be honest.
Which has U.S. and Canadian nipple pasties.
Yeah.
And then Joe Coy comes flying down on a snowmobile.
Oh, and he has a Filipino flag over his penis, right? It's a Philippine
And
flag.
remember, he was on her show years ago, so they found love. Good for them. Now, in other news, you
Oh, here
know
it comes.
who? There's Joe Coy.
The Filipino
Joseph.
flag.
Oh, he does.
Joseph. It's another guy we saw has come up in a big way.
Oh, you know what? Daniel Javier Fitz brings up. I'll give him props because I love Daniel Javier Fitz. I will fit in time to say what's up to you. Is it possible that we're forgetting that Britney Spears has like teenagers? It's got to be a little embarrassing.
Oh yeah, with
Like it's not
what's
about her.
K-Fed
It's
think
not
of all
about her
this?
anymore. You said recently to me, like, yo, bro, like, you know, Melody's a preteen, and you know, you're entering the stage where you don't want to embarrass your daughter. Britney Spears is doing this.
I tell Melody it goes both ways.
Yeah.
You don't want to embarrass dad either, so chill.
But the reality, Cove, is that she's got teenage boys. Do you think teenage boys want their mom doing this?
No.
Nightmare.
Yeah, it's, but hey, she's liberated and it's
a different time.
It's a different time. I don't know.
Different
I'm
time.
just sharing the story and, she continues to say, or make us say, like, what?
Oh.
In other news, do you know who Brett Netzer is? You're not going to know.
I know Brett Walzer.
I didn't know who he was. I just didn't know if you knew the story. Brett Netzer is a Red Sox prospect who was released as of yesterday.
Oh, I heard about this story.
For his, again, he's a baseball prospect. They go back to his Twitter days, right? And they find nothing but racist and homophobic tweets from this guy,
Oh, but
right?
wait.
But hold on, the story gets
There's more.
juicy.
Oh, juicy.
Because this guy then says,
Tasty.
yeah, fuck it.
Juicy.
You know what?
Juicy.
I am
Tasty.
racist and I am a homophobe. And here's
Right?
what else I think. But we've never seen such ownership of this. But the things, I don't know. I don't want to say, I was reading in them and they're
look at
all
them.
bad, but you'll see. So anyway, because of this, he was released, and I don't know if any team will ever pick this guy up as a result.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean that was the story. Like
Maybe
the story was,
maybe our dads could do a podcast called Tasty and Juicy.
oh,
Here's this,
tasty.
wait. Oh, so he just like full on goes at it because
He owned it. He's like, I damn well do hate black people. Like,
He doubled.
I hate gays. And
we have
it's
yet
now-
to see anyone double down.
Oh,
This guy
man.
doubled down.
These tweets are from like 4 days ago.
Yeah,
so it's
he
like
doubled down on it.
3 days ago. He just went on a rant.
Doubling down on ignorance
It's
was
like, I
his.
guess I am racist.
Doubling down on ignorance was his game plan.
Yeah, he was like, and since we're on it, yeah, I'm absolutely racist. You know, like it's like, wow, okay, it's not going to help you get drafted
Well,
anytime soon,
you know
buddy.
what? Maybe he's doing a good thing by exposing what a shithead he is. Because better find out now than later, I guess. Right? If you're an organization,
talk about getting in your own way.
Yeah, he
Brett
just
Netzer did.
I am a racist. I do sometimes make assumptions based on a person's race, ethnicity, culture. Glad that is out of the way.
what else did he write?
Which, to be fair,
I don't even wanna
think
read
a lot
it.
of us do.
Can you blow it up so I can
do
see it
that
at least?
sometimes? But I wouldn't consider myself a racist for that. But I think you sort of size people up sometimes. I mean, you have eyes. You just do. But man,
All right, so he's addressing Black Lives Matter, Jewish people. He's not leaving anyone out, huh?
oh no,
He's
he goes transgender.
covering the gamut.
He talks transgender too. That's what the homophobe stuff was all about. So he admits that he was a racist.
Did he touch on everything? Did he do? I'm trying to think of the patented mistakes people make. Did he compare someone to Hitler? Because that's a great one that people seem to do.
I don't know.
Who's Chaim Bloom?
I don't know. Oh yeah, I don't know. He referenced that a few times. I don't know who that is.
Wait, hold on.
Red Sox's chief baseball officer.
Yeah,
So I guess he's just angry at that guy for letting him go.
he talks about the Jews. I mean, this
So
guy
he's just full of. I mean,
Yeah, he went off. He went off.
I saw one about transgendered. I saw one about black people. Yeah, this guy.
He's done. Like, think about it. He just couldn't leave well enough alone. But you know what? His honesty made it better for
That's like if
everybody
you- that's
because
like if you
now he's not going to be in baseball. No one has to deal with the guy.
it's like if you got fired for sexual harassment and you're like, you know what? On the way out of the office, you just like smack everyone's titties.
You know what else is weird about it too? Is he
You know what? You're right.
Baseball.
I am.
Honk, honk. What'd you say it was?
What'd
A
you say it
sexual
was?
harasser? Well, you said it. Titty,
Titties, titties.
Well, if you're gonna let me go, hold on 1 second. Hey, Barbara, come here. Yes. Honk, honk. Honk, honk. I am a sexual harasser. You said it. Later.
You want to meet him? Who? My dick. This guy, yeah, he went out guns a-blazing. And
What a moron.
It's really moronic, too, because you think his teammates are probably of all different ethnicities, and different backgrounds. Brett Netzer, grand opening, grand closing.
Well, you know what? You could prove that people are allowed to have different political leanings and thoughts. But if you're an outward racist piece of shit, you're going to be exposed. There's guys in all leagues that are of different belief systems, but on the ball field or on the gridiron or on the court, if you see past those things in your teammates and brothers, you're allowed to have your own values and thoughts. But this guy's an open racist. Come on.
You could be you could have differences, but be respectful about them, right? So, he handled everything terribly.
Jeez.
And then two things that I didn't mention in the past few days that I wanted to mention, just to simply acknowledge it. Batman is out, right? Batman, Robert Pattinson.
I think it's officially out this Friday.
Is it this Friday?
Yeah.
But you're seeing all the hype
All
leading
the
up to
previews,
it.
yeah.
You're seeing all the previews. You're seeing people, reserving their tickets and everything like that. So, the Batman hype is out there.
The new Fantastic Beast trailer was released. I'm so excited.
Fantastic Beast. No, it's Peace.
Oh,
Peace.
is it? Fantastic Peace?
The peace is dead in my... So, okay, Batman's coming out, but Jeter is out. And I didn't acknowledge this the other day. Derek Jeter's out. He stepped down as...
I think it's great. I think it's great because you know what the narrative is? The narrative is he left the team better than he got it.
Yeah. And that was his goal.
And I'll be honest, I I'm not a Yankees fan. You guys know me. I'm a Mets fan. I don't care about the Yankees at all. But it never felt right for Derek Jeter to be part of baseball and it not be with the Yankees. I even saw Stephen A. Smith talking about how the Yankees need to figure out I'm disgusted. How to get Derek Jeter involved on the corporate side of the Yankees. He needs to be part. If he's going to be part of baseball, he either needs to be part of league management.
No, but it all makes sense, and it's respected. He learned on the job somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So now I feel like, okay, now he comes back to the Yankees, and it all makes sense. So he stepped down and announced his departure from the Marlins. I believe he was with them for 5 years as a CEO, and he's like, yeah, you know what? They had a different vision of where this was going, and I wasn't about that, so I announce it now before the season starts. I'm done with them, but I accomplished what I came here to accomplish, like behind closed doors or, in the front office. I wanted to change some things, and now I did, and here I am.
Well, baseball on a... Go ahead, Spot.
I don't know. I was going to just give his quote.
Go ahead.
He said, I'm announcing my departure. We had a vision 5 years ago to turn the Marlins franchise around, and as CEO, I've been proud to put my name and reputation on the line to make our plan a reality. Through hard work, trust, and accountability, we transformed every aspect of the franchise, reshaping the workforce and developing a long-term strategic plan for success.
If the Marlins are if they're worth more money and they're on the right track, then Derek Jeter, quote, did his job, and it is time for him to get out of there because I don't think the Marlins are doing anything in the next 5 years, so it's a good time for him to sort of dip away.
Let me finish the quote. That said, the vision for the future of the franchise is different than the one I signed up to lead. Now is the right time for me to step aside as a new season begins. Thanks to my family.
You know what it is, Spot? I don't know Derek Jeter personally, and I don't know the story, but I can tell you what it is. It's Derek Jeter went there. They revamped the organization. They got the bones of the organization right, where he's probably like, all right, we got the right people in place. I changed what was wrong. I come from the Yankees. I know how to win. And now Derek Jeter was probably like, all right, now let's spend money to win. And they were probably like, well, no, Derek, we're going to do this on the low budget way the Marlins do. And he's like, well, I set up the groundwork, but now that the groundwork's set up to compete in baseball, you need to spend some money. And the Marlins are probably, that's what
Rich, because it seems very clear that they're not living up to their end of the bargain.
Yeah.
And that's not what he signed up for, but he did his job. He did his work. So now he's out. And here's my prediction. My prediction is I don't think he comes out right away. I think he takes a year off.
He'll be part of the Yankees.
Immediately?
No, within a year. He'll take a year off. But next year,
he'll take a year off, and the Yankees will figure out where he fits best. How do they include this guy?
I'll tell you what,
How
it won't
does he
be.
bring his winning vibe to this new culture, and they'll figure out some sort of position for this dude.
Trust me, Derek Jeter has more to offer. He's not going to be like Mookie Wilson, where he's like, you know how like the Mets are like, Mookie Wilson's an ambassador to the team. Jeter's going to be involved.
Right.
I think he has too much to offer the game. So,
and he learned a lot. He was worked there for 5 years. So, props. I just wanted to acknowledge that because we've been so busy we didn't even get to it.
Updates on baseball? Yes. They negotiated until 2:30 in the morning last night. They extended the deadline a little bit because they don't want to miss games. So today until tomorrow seems to be crunch time. They're, quote, getting closer, but they're not there yet. Baseball can't afford to take this hit, if you ask me.
And the last story of the day, I'll make it quick before I give some shout-outs. I saw this and I was blown away. It's the Covino and Rich fun fact of the day. Again, blown away, pun intended. The Covino and Rich fun fact of the day. The average fart leaves your asshole at a whopping speed of 7 miles per hour.
So wait, you're trying to tell me...
7, 8...
So wait, hold on now. Hold on, what you're saying is I need to run on a treadmill at an 8.0 to outrun your fart?
Yes. No, a point. Yeah.
It's all a 7.1. Yeah, at least the 7.1. So Spot, if you're jogging on a treadmill like a 4 or 5.0 or something like that, like a little light jog, you will not outrun farts.
Then again, I read this in a meme, so I don't know if there's scientific.
No, it's science. Yeah,
to it, but it's the fun fact of the day.
Like remember Jake Gyllenhaal
makes me laugh.
Outran the cold.
Yeah.
In The Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
To outrun a fart, you have to run the equivalent of a 7.1 or more on a treadmill, which is a good, nice. It's a nice run. It's a nice run.
It's a brisk jog.
Brisk jog is like a 5 point something. 7.0 or more is not a jog anymore. That's running.
So I also want to shout out.
I could do that for about a minute.
Curtis from Elliott Lake.
Better hope he's not gassy.
Gearbox. Curtis from Gearbox. Curtis from Elliott Lake. What's up, Curtis? Thank you for being here with us, hanging with us. Shout out to Curtis. Was it Curtis's birthday spot?
No, I think he just wanted a shout out.
Just shouting out
I
Curtis.
feel like we missed someone's birthday recently.
Jesus Notorious. What's up?
Who's
Notorious Jesus?
Whose birthday is today, Rich?
Oh,
Well, I'm giving shout outs.
yeah.
Okay.
Shut up and refill my popcorn. What's up?
What?
That's the name of the person. Leanne Eckertson, Mitch Klein, Michael J, Matt Morgul, Kirk Poping, Dean Whitehead, 7 miles per hour, John Sabornhong, Greg Irish, what's up? Everyone on our Patreon celebrating with us on our 1 year anniversary. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Can you? It's like we need that infrared.
Yeah.
Where you see the cloud and you have to try and outrun it.
Wait,
You're running in slow motion like Chevy Chase to Wally World.
So what if you're running at like 2 miles an hour? Are you going 9 miles an hour now? So
If it gets you,
fun fact
screwed.
of the day. And you want to give some birthday shout outs?
Yeah, birthday shout outs.
Well, it's our 1 year anniversary, so happy sort of birthday to our show, I guess, on Patreon.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh,
Howard.
His
Clint
brother.
Howard. Ron Howard's brother.
Mr. Cunningham himself.
Oh, it's Ron Howard's brother.
Oh, Ron Howard.
Or Ron Howard's birthday?
Ron Howard. 68 years old.
Wow, he's old.
Is that your parents' age?
Yeah.
Mark Paul Gosselaar. Zach Morris. Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Our
Yes,
old bud.
48.
48 years old.
Bam.
Boom.
Spot. I did not enjoy it as much as you did, but we were at the Super Bowl and we saw what band perform?
The Who.
Roger Daltrey.
Oh, he's got to be old as the hills. 78.
Are you fucking kidding? 78.
Oh, really?
Bam!
He's old.
You guys had 2 guesses in a row. How old do you think Kesha is?
Oh, she's like 35.
Kesha's 35 today.
Dang,
son.
And one final
On
birthday
a roll.
shout out.
You take the next one.
We think of him as a teeny bopper, but the reality is he's a grown ass man. Justin Bieber.
Oh.
I think of him as a teeny bopper. I think of you as a weenie bopper.
He's got to be
Justin Bieber?
32. But you take this one.
31.
28. I thought he was a little older too.
dang.
Yeah. I set you up because I said no longer a teeny bopper. But yeah, 28. He's almost 30. I mean, almost 30. Bieber. 28 years old. And is it Michael Conforto's birthday today? Michael Conforto, someone said that? Former New York Met. Where's he going to end up? There's players. And by the way, the baseball thing, the interesting part for a guy like you that loves baseball even more than me.
Baseball.
Once it starts up again, there's a lot of unfinished business in free agent world. Because remember, it had to all stop. So not only will spring training start, there's a lot of guys that are like, yo, I don't even know where I'm playing. He's one of them. So
Not to talk about bringing him back to the Mets.
Hey, what's
It's
up,
like,
Covino? It's Justin Bieber. Just want to say thanks for being such a big fan. I love you. You're awesome.
I love you too, Beebs. Happy birthday.
yeah, I
Happy
remember
28th, man.
If people don't know the fun story behind that, I interviewed Bieber when he was like a teenager. And I said, yo, Justin, my nephew Covino, this little kid loves you. And he's like, all right, I'll give him a little shout out. So Bieber thought you were a little kid.
Hey, what's up, Covino? It's Justin Bieber. Just want to say thanks for being such a big fan. I love you. You're awesome.
Thanks, Beebs.
There you go.
Thanks.
Love it.
Thanks.
All right.
buddy.
I love that story.
On that note, let's see. Let's get out of here. We'll call it a day. The first of the month.
It's our anniversary. Remember, you could gift an annual subscription. Buy an annual subscription for somebody because no one wants to do that every month.
Can't.
No, you could. You could be like, hey, man, I'll buy it for you.
All right, but
I'm going to buy it for you.
You can. Okay, so the way around gifting a subscription,
Yeah.
you would have to create an account for someone.
That's fine. Yeah.
So I'm just saying that's how you do it. You can't. There's no option to gift. So I don't want people looking for that, being like, where do I gift a subscription?
But we have annual subscriptions available now just to make it
Buy it
easier
for
for
them.
you guys. And if you know anyone that had CNR but were not happy with the Patreon experience, there's ways that they could subscribe to our show and get it Monday through Thursday.
Here's to another year.
Yeah,
1
let's
year at
go.
a time, one step at a
Let's
time.
effing go.
Here's to another year.
Let's have and go.
Let's go. Let me ask you one question as we get out of here, because I know I'm going to discuss this today on my podcast with Nicole. Have kids, they said.
For every time you promote that on our show, you got to promote our show on that show.
I do at the end of the show, so you can check me out. I do that at the little sign of where can you find me?
Love it.
Farrah Abraham, known for selling her shit.
Oof.
Teen mom turned
No.
porn star.
Known for selling her doo-doo, yes.
Yeah, known for selling her doo-doo and a sex tape, and she was also on the Teen Mom Show. for her kid's 13th birthday, she let her kid get a nose piercing. What's the line on letting your kids get tattoos, piercings, all that?
She also doesn't have much legs to stand on.
But Mom, you showed your butthole to the world.
Yeah,
I know.
Mom, you're selling your shit online.
Jars.
All I want is my nose pierced.
Do you have a rule for your daughter is almost 13? If Melody wanted an ear piercing is pretty standard for a girl, but what if she wanted a nose or septum piercing or like a little lip piercing?
These are sliding scales of what you find acceptable, right? Like, I don't want my kid to get her septum pierced or whatever, right? But I don't have the problem with the little nose piercing like that. Like, just like a little, how do you do? Like, I'm okay with that. But not now. I feel she's too young for that.
And it also depends on how you are, because I saw like
get,
Jose, who's tatted up. Brother, right. I saw Jose's like, my daughter's getting more tattoos. And I'm like, isn't your daughter like a teenager?
But his daughter's like 18 in college now.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I get that. But
still, yeah.
Sliding scale.
Isn't she like 8? I'm kidding.
It still applies though, because Jose's a tatted up guy. What's he going to tell us?
Yeah, exactly.
Nose piercing. I would say before you do anything permanent, poignant. Like if she wants to get a nose piercing, get one of those little magnetic studs.
Give it a chip. Try it first.
Try that first. If she wants to get a tattoo, have her get one of those like inked, whatever they're called, where you put it on. It's like 2-week tattoos.
Yeah.
Or even like henna. If you want to do henna,
those are good ideas.
It's
like
a little early.
Try it out.
14, 15 sounds a little better to me.
Do not do because like. It's like picking a major when you're 8 years old.
Well, how old are you in 8th grade? Because you're like 13. I got my ears
14 maybe.
I was 13 because I was 14 in 9th grade. So if I'm 13 in 8th grade, I got my ears pierced in 8th grade.
What did your mother say?
And I'm a boy, right? And then my parents didn't give me a hard time because guess what? My dad had his ear pierced. My uncle had his ear pierced.
Dumbass.
So I mean, if my daughter wants to get a nose piercing, 13, 14, and believe me, I think Melody does want the little how do you do right here. 14 sounds a lot better.
What about dyeing the hair? Like what if your kid's a little artsy or very gothy and they're like, I'm gonna dye my hair purple, Dad. 13?
That's fine.
12? I mean, teenager like what? So if you want to hear more nonsense, Nicole and I will discuss that.
It's the poignance and make this point on Have Kids Day said. It really is about the permanence. Because.
But again, Farrah Abraham has no.
Much like choosing certain things as a child.
Mom, you sell your shat.
Mom.
You don't realize
you were called backdoor teen mom. I think it's okay if I get my nose pierced.
I don't think you understand the ramifications of permanence when you're a child.
Backdoor teen mom. You're backdoor teen mom. I know.
Yeah. Listen, I'm your mother. Okay, backdoor teen mom. I'm gonna do what I want.
You're not just my mother. You're backdoor teen mother.
Oh yeah. Well, you're a toilet baby.
Like you don't have a whole lot of.
You don't know who your father is.
Discipline when you're like.
Jesus,
but you just don't have a lot of room to discipline when you're that.
Oh, and if you need a feel good thing, this guy who's like the true hero of Ukraine, the president,
that guy,
he was on Dancing with the Stars. So people are saying like, yo, this guy went from like
Ukrainian
lovable,
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, he was on Dancing with the Stars. He was like a regular guy everyone loved, like a celebrity type, and now they're showing what a hero this guy is. So
I don't get it though, man. Like you get all these people. Usyk was the last boxer to join the fight. Who, again, he's a heavyweight champion. As we speak, he beat Anthony Joshua, and he's fighting him again. So Usyk was joining his boxing brothers, Lomachenko and the Klitschko's, and everyone's going there to fight. Like they're really showing the size of their balls in Ukraine. But isn't it kind of sad? Because what if Russia just says, well, yeah, we must destroy you.
Well, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I know,
they don't care that it's Usyk.
No, I know that. So one bomb could take them all out.
Dude, I know. It's terrible. That's
one
war,
bomb
man.
of a nuclear nature, which they have access to.
You know what I mean? But that's what's so sad about the whole thing. It's like, well, is it going to come to that?
Well, look at what we said. I think it was
the president's fighting too. Yeah, the president was just.
We mentioned this on
so sad.
We mentioned this on Fox Sports, and to wrap it up because we have to go. But to wrap it up, on Fox Sports we mentioned how in our lifetime we've never seen this for the most part. Our parents saw guys like Ted Williams and DiMaggio and all these guys would fight in a war and leave baseball for a year or so. There are plenty of baseball players.
Without that, we wouldn't have had a league of their own.
Look at that. And on that note, have a great Tuesday, the first of the month.
Happy
Spread
anniversary
the word
to all of us.
As Spot said, you can't gift a subscription, but buy one for someone else. What the heck?
And
Do
thanks
it.
for being part of this for the past
year.
Sign up
your
guys.
friends. Just give it. Be like, here.
Hey, if you want to get us an anniversary gift, buy a friend a subscription. Give a friend a chance.
That would be dope.
And send more protein snacks.
And
Yeah.
send more
Thanks,
coffee.
Heidi.
Thanks, Heidi.
And send more regional coffee. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, arrivederci, baby.
See you in the promised land.
Goodbye.